Waiting all year, had no looking back, no fear, here we go. Pump it up, let's fuel the screaming crowd. Take it all, this is our town. It's Friday night, hit the lights, let's go all out. Hands in on three, together we'll shout.
The Bright House Network's High School Football Game of the Week, sponsored by Premier Equipment Rentals, Audiovisual Plus, KGET Friday Football Extra, Crab Radio 106.1 FM, and Fox Sports 970 AM.
Well, a very good evening, everybody. Welcome back to Bright House Network's High School Football Game of the Week. Playoff Football Week 2. Vance Palm back from a one-week hiatus, joined by Matt Alvarez up on the Premier Equipment Scissor Lift, and down on the grass, Brian Adams, Division III playoff football. We are at Ridgeview High School out on the southwest corner of Bakersfield, where the Wolfpack hosting the Pioneers from Mount Whitney. First play from the line of scrimmage for Mount Whitney on their own 21-yard line, and the handoff goes to Kyle McAllister. Let's go down to the grass. Brian, week 2 playoff football. I enjoyed listening to you and Matt last week, but now the plot thickens here in the second week. Oh boy. Well, we'll get to Brian here in a moment, as on a 2nd and 6 they go to the ground again. Matt, we'll go to you. Your thoughts here on week 2. Give us some numbers, give us some information here.
Well, Mount Whitney 5-5 on the season, but they were awarded a 5th seed, and they're playing the 4 seed Ridgeview Wolfpack today, who finished 8-2 and were the part of a 3-way tie for a league championship with West and Golden Valley, Vance. So, Ridgeview certainly should have the edge here.
3rd and 2, Mount Whitney. First series, just started the football game. They're going to try to stay on the ground here. They go to McAllister again, and he nudged his way very close to that needed 32-yard line. I don't think they got it. No, they're going to turn the sign over, and it's going to be a 4th and very close. And just like that, they're going to have to punt it. Do we have our captain yet? Cap, give us a sound check. We do not yet. All right, we're working on Brian's microphone. Is it me? I'm back, and the mic doesn't work. Last week, you guys were technically perfect. Well, standing back at his own 33-yard line, a long boot, and Jacob Spears is going to let it bounce. Jacob thought about it for a second. A perfect bounce for the Pioneers, and it goes down at the 25-yard line. Nice punt. So now Ridgeview will have a chance to take over. And, Matt, give us some thoughts on the Wolfpack.
Well, I'm surprised that Mount Whitney kept it on the ground that drive, because they have a 2,000-yard passer, Vance, and their quarterback, Chris Smith, the senior. But, here you go with Ridgeview's offense, and they're, of course, led by Tyler Ferguson. He's a 1,000-yard passer. But look for them to keep it on the ground, because they have 2 stellar senior running backs, or a senior running back in Dante Malloy, who has 6 touchdowns, and another running back in sophomore Brandon Tripp, who has 8 touchdowns on the season. So not a lot through the air for Ridgeview, only 114 attempts thus far through the air. So
Ferguson ranked 8th in the area, and the quarterback, but they go right to the ground, and they give it right to the dangerous Shannon Edwards, and Edwards busts a long run already in Pioneer territory at the 45-yard line. That didn't take long to set the tone, did it?
So, Edwards isn't someone that we mentioned, and he's a 5'10", 175-pound junior, so he's definitely one of the young guns for this team. But, he got a great block going around the outside. They just got him on the sweep, and, that's a great first play for Ridgeview.
Well, the Pioneers are going to be in for a very, very long night, if that's any indication of how the football game is going to go for offensive purposes for the Wolfpack. They go to the air, will pass out to the right side, bobbled at first, hung on to, breaks a couple tackles, 3 tackles, 4 tackles, and it's another first down just like that. Brock Martin gets a 13-yard pass play, first down Wolfpack. Here they come.
Well, 2 plays, 2 first downs, like you said, Vance, and we're just a little less than 2 minutes into this game, or a little over 2 minutes into this game, and Ridgeview moving the ball without any problem here on this Mount Whitney defense.
We are joined tonight up on the scissor lift by none other than sideline cameraman extraordinaire, Carlos Anguiano, and big block in the backfield, and the Pioneers hold there. And I don't know if we'll be able to get a shot of Carlos tonight. Anguiano's up here with us, and he's got the full dark eye shades completely covering Carlos. Nobody. Never a dull moment with the Bright House Network production crew. So it's 2nd and 8. Ridgeview breaks out of the huddle. Again, their quarterback is Tyler Ferguson. 1,003 yards, I think it's something like that, as he comes into this football game. He has one running back standing to his right, and they're going to go to that running back, and he breaks one tackle, and that's Keaton. Keaton looks, and there's a flag on the play, still on his feet, and Keaton gets down at about the 26-yard line. 2 flags on the play, so let's see what the call is going to be here.
Well, that was thrown by the back judge, and that was a long throw, a good little arm on that.
Oh, that was only 1 flag?
Well, yeah, I mean, he threw that from about the 10-yard line, and it landed at the 30, and it's going to be a hold against Ridgeview.
Man, I thought there was 2 flags. He threw that thing about 25 yards.
That's definitely coming back.
All right. Once again, everybody, welcome. You're watching Bright House Network's High School Football Game of the Week. I'm Vance Palm, joined by Matt Alvarez up top. We're working on Brian's microphone down on the grass. It was tested, tried, and true. But I'll tell you what, when it went live, something happened. We'll get back to it. 8:42 remaining in this first quarter. We're just underway. First possession here for the Wolfpack. They're in the purple with the gold pants, and Mount Whitney all white. 2nd and 16 after the holding call. Ferguson. Play action, goes to his right, throws to his right, and it's caught out there by Edwards. Edwards looks to get more yards out of it and gets down about the 23-yard line. I think picked up the first down anyway.
Yeah, he did, Vance. You know, 2nd and 16, you got to be playing. You have to have a little better coverage than that if you're Mount Whitney, because that's the second time that Edwards has gotten loose, whether it had been on foot or through the air. And you know, Edwards is a very dangerous wolf for this Wolfpack here.
Chilly night, but not unbearable. Not too bad.
I'll speak for yourself, Vance.
Oh, come on, man. They're going to go to Brandon Tripp. Tripp busts through the line. Big contact, a couple of big hits, and he'll go down at about the 20-yard line. So Tripp, a hard 3 yards, and I would say it's only about 55 right now. It's nice, 50 degrees, nice little evening. Did you get your hot cocoa before the game started?
No, I did not get my hot cocoa, but you see there on the Audio Visual Plus instant replay, Tripp, well, he's got some hot feet right now, just skipping around that tackler, able to get it up to the 20-yard line and bring up a 2nd and 5. Actually, looks like a little bit more than 2nd and 5. I think the scoreboard might be wrong on that.
We see a 2nd and 7 at least. And now Jacob Spears coming over to the near side, gets sent back to the far side. And Kyrie Wilson, the dangerous KW, stands at the 20-yard line. And they go again. Fumble! Brandon Tripp loses the ball.
Well, it was picked up by Jacob Spears. A good job of awareness there by the wide receiver. But, yeah, Tripp lost the ball on that hit at the end of the play. As you see Tripp with the hot feet once again in the Audio Visual Plus instant replay. Cuts back to the inside, then breaks it outside, loses his footing a little bit. But you'll see at the end of the play here. Actually, I think that was a couple plays ago, actually, Vance. That wasn't the last play.
That was a play from a few plays ago. 3rd and 2. And they go to the ground again. Another weapon. This time it's Dante Malloy. Malloy looks for the end zone and gets it. Touchdown, Ridgeview. So take a pick. Pick your running back. Touchdown, Ridgeview.
Well, so many offensive weapons here for Ridgeview. And you see Dante Malloy. They go to their senior. The 5'8", 185-pound captain of this team, Dante Malloy. He goes in for his 7th touchdown of the season. And Ridgeview, boy, they're firing on all cylinders thus far. And Mount Whitney is going to have a long night ahead of them if they can't contain this.
So are we. Here's the PAT. Spears the holder. The kick is up, and it's through, and it's good by Daniel Reyes, the junior kicker. 7-0. Ridgeview didn't take them long at all to get down the football field, and they used a plethora of talented players. They put the ball in at least 4 different running backs' hands and a couple of nice passes, and the Wolfpack jumps out to an early 7-0 lead. You're watching Bright House Network's High School Football Game of the Week. Pleasure to be with you. Tonight's production being directed by the Godfather, Zachary Flores, and our senior director, Bernie Johnson, up on a scissor lift on the south end of the football field. We're on the north end of the football field. We have Carlos Anguiano up with us. On fan cam tonight, I believe it's Mark. Mark said he was tired of working with Matt and I didn't want to be around us anymore. Felt like we were a bad influence on his production life, so he said, "I'll do the field work." So Mark's down on the grass, and Tony Ombrist running down the sidelines as well. Pleasure to have everybody here. Super Samsonite Bowman in the truck with us. Am I forgetting anybody else? You have a third man on the truck? Who is it? Joe Reese in the truck tonight. Wow, Kevin Willie has a weekend off. Goodness gracious, fellas. 1st and 10 is what it's going to be when these guys get the football, unless they run it all the way back. I'm chuckling because Carlos Anguiano says Kevin Willie's got caught up in Black Friday. What, he get stuck at the mall and couldn't do. Low kick taken at the 31-yard line, looking for his wall, looking for his blocking, and doesn't get it, and be brought down about the 34-yard line. That was Elijah Robles. So now we get another chance of this Mount Whitney team. Well, you mentioned that it was surprising that they're on the ground. Maybe we'll see a change here in the second possession.
Yeah, possibly, but I don't understand why that kick was squibbed. I mean, they did such a great job, the Ridgeview defense, of containing this Mount Whitney offense the first possession.
I was surprised too.
Yeah, why would you want to give them good field position here as they have it at the 34-yard line?
Some big games going on around the city tonight. We'll touch on those here in a little bit. 1st and 10, Mount Whitney. In the shotgun. They stay on the ground. This time it's handed off to that same Elijah Robles. Robles gets maybe 2 yards. Be second at about 8.
Yeah, well, Robles may have gotten 2 yards there, but they're going to have a hard time if they're trying to run up the middle against Kyrie Wilson, the University of Oregon commit. He's a stalwart on that Ridgeview defense.
2nd and 8. They finally go to the air. Chris Smith throws out here to the left side, and it's caught by Eddie Walker, but Eddie Walker only gets about 3. He kind of falls forward for a couple of yards. And
Walker knew that hit was coming, though, Vance. He definitely heard footsteps, and that's why he hit the deck as soon as he caught the ball. As we all saw it up here, and I'm sure the Mount Whitney fans behind us were kind of cringing. That
angle you see right there, what you're watching in your screen, that's exactly where we're at. That's the camera that you're seeing it from, and that's where we're sitting. Smith has a ton of time, and that's a great catch if he makes it, but no, they say incomplete. And he was absolutely drilled as that ball went into his hands. Christian Alas hammered him, so that's going to be a 4th down. And that young receiver out there, Dominic Lovero, not loving that at all. He's got a stinger on his right elbow.
Yeah, he was holding his elbow when he was coming up, but great defensive work once again by Ridgeview, forcing another 3 and out here to the Mount Whitney offense. And back to receive this kick is Jacob Spears once again. Let's see if he gets a chance at returning it this time.
Not a good punt whatsoever, and it's going to land on one of the paws. He's going to land on the paw of the Wolfpack and get somewhat of a bounce, but what do you say here, Matt?
A 26-yard punt, that's okay by high school standards, but when you're going up against a team like Ridgeview who has such a potent offense, you better be putting them 40, 50 yards.
5:47 remaining in this first quarter. High school football game of the week brought to you exclusively by Bright House Networks Bakersfield. This game selected by the boss himself. The main man at Bright House said, this is the game you guys are doing. Get ready to go and get out to the Southwest, and that's where we are at Ridgeview High School the night after Thanksgiving.
Centennial's up 7-6 on Central. They just announced over the PA system here.
All right. On a 1st and 10. And nice look out there by Ferguson. Ferguson stands 6'4", nearly 200 pounds, so another one of those tall, upright quarterbacks. Great article on the Golden Valley quarterback Martin today in the newspaper. I don't know if you got a chance to read it, Matt, but a really nice piece on Derek Martin and how he was born with a lot of difficulties and documented in the story, and he doesn't take anything for granted. Every game is a big game for him, and another great quarterback this year in the Valley.
And he has a great team around him as the play gets blown dead before the snap. He has a great team around him if they could just stay disciplined, Vance.
The game we called recently, they had 3 ejections. They had an ejection before that, and then the week after that, Martin himself got ejected. They appealed it, and it was pulled back. He was able to play, but they did go through a rough stretch there. But now, here they are, win the league, and they're in the playoffs as well. Do we have We don't have our captain. All right, I'm hearing a lot of no's and a couple of head shakes there. So, no, our captain still without us. Ferguson rolls to his right, has a ton of time, perfectly thrown ball, and it's caught again out there by who else but Brock Martin. Martin takes a hit. There's a late flag. I say late in the play as the play is coming to an end, and now we see Shannon Edwards holding his right leg, and
he's
we don't want to see that.
Yeah, he's grabbing his ankle there, but fortunately for Ridgeview, he gets up and he's able to walk off on his own power. It's going to be an illegal block in the back call, but you see Edwards at the end of that play just get tripped up, and he's holding his ankle. He's going to go off the field, but Ridgeview has so many offensive options that they could go to. They're not really losing a lot when they lose Edwards, but obviously I'm sure they'd want to have him on the field. So you see Edwards heading over there to the training table, going to probably get a little tape work done, a little tape action. But that penalty is going to move Ridgeview back again. That's the second time they've shot themselves in the foot so far tonight, and they had a first down on Brock Martin's little pitch and catch, and now it's going to be a 2nd and 5. Here's Ferguson. He hands off, and they go to Kamari Moya. And Moya breaks the tackle. Moya to the outside. What a stiff arm. He's got a blocker downfield at the 30. What a block! He's going to the end zone. Oh, my goodness.
Some great downfield blocking, and even though our captain's microphone's not working, that's what he would talk about. He stuck with it, Matt. And here we see he made a great call, by the way, audiovisual plus replay. And Moya just takes it, sees a gap, gets to the right side, and take it from here, Matt.
Look at Jacob Spears, though, blocking downfield. Here you see Moya. All he has to do is run. Boom! Look at that huge block by Spears. And then all Moya has to do is just turn on the afterburners and go to the end zone. Look who's holding the extra point, like you mentioned, Vance.
Could that be our first touchdown implicated crab crush? You never know.
I believe it has to be a candidate, that's for sure.
That could be one of our first candidates as a touchdown implicated crab crush. And here come the Wolfpack, and a beautiful, beautiful downfield block. We'll probably get another look at that touchdown if we get a chance. 4:43 remaining in this first quarter, and
this could get out of hand early, Vance.
Well, we figured that it may. And here's another look at it.
Now you see Moya, it's just a straight handoff up the middle, and then Moya does the rest. Watch that stiff arm right there.
Boom, there's some Walter Payton right there.
That's called hitting the iron, Vance.
Look
That's
at Spears.
Called pumping the weights.
Smack. That's beautiful. 14-0 Ridgeview, and could be a long night for everybody involved here.
Except for that guy, he looks warm. Nice little Ridgeview mascot. He looks like he's having a great time, shaking hands, growling.
Yeah, well, that's what we need to wear then.
And on the opposite end of the spectrum, he's not having such a good time.
Well, Matt Whitney come a long way down here to be down 14-0, 4:43 remaining in this first quarter.
Well, like you said, Vance, yeah, it would be one of those nights where we need to be in a full body costume that has fur on it, keep ourselves cold. Well, you tend to do a little bit better with the cold than I do.
Matt Alvarez still living vicariously in the Arizona weather. What's the latest? Arizona going to be able to pull that out or no?
No, absolutely not. Last time I checked, they were down. Oregon had scored in the 40s like normal, and Arizona only had 22. So, hey, they played a good first half.
A lot of teams can say that about their game against Oregon. All right, taken at the 17-yard line. Let's see if Matt Whitney can't put something together. The same young man, Chris Smith, that was Bryce Honley on the return.
Well, let's see. This could be a game-defining drive here for Mount Whitney. If they can't get anything going, I don't see them having any chance. And, the last couple times they've been 3 and out. As here comes 5'11" Chris Smith. You look at the quarterbacks here, you see Tyler Ferguson, 6'4", and you see Chris Smith, only 5'11". So not your typical quarterback, but he's the one that's a 2,000-yard passer.
Smith gets it out to the left side quickly, and not a bad run whatsoever. And Kyle McAllister delivers a couple of blows there. And, this is Division III football, but you look at McAllister, he's a well-built young man right there. He's 5'10", 180, big, strong legs, and here he comes right now. Pow! Attaboy.
He's not afraid to mix it up, that's for sure, on the outside edge.
Again, they go to McAllister. He cuts up field and goes against the grain, and the ball is going to be at the right hash mark at about the 40-yard line. First down, Mount Whitney, just what the doctor ordered.
Well, they might have picked up the first down, but I want you to watch, the defensive pursuit of Ridgeview. These guys are so fast. They're so quick. They're one of the fastest defenses in the valley here, and all they do is flock to the ball. But, that's the only way that Mount Whitney is going to be able to beat them. They can't go over the middle. They have to throw these quick outs in the flats.
Smith, a lot of time, and right through the fingertips of Dominic Lavero. And don't forget, Lavero's the one that took that hit on the elbow that last series, and man, that just went right through his fingertips.
Now you see on the audio visual plus instant replay, he had plenty of time, like you said, Vance, and then that pass over the middle. I think he might have possibly heard some footsteps, gotten a little case of alligator arms. The hits always hurt a lot worse when it's sub 50 degrees.
2nd and 10, Smith. Looks like a screenplay, and it is. But Ridgeview all over it. Nice stiff arm there as well, and it's taken out there by Elijah Robles. They didn't get much. Ridgeview pretty much reads it and stretches out that run for maybe a yard.
Well, you see Kyrie Wilson coming in on the right side. He gets around his blocker, and then you could tell it's a screen because Wilson was all the other linemen were downfield blocking, but then you see Bryson Keaton coming in with a big hit here, number 5. And they didn't allow Mount Whitney to get a yard on that play. It's going to be 3rd and 10.
3rd and 10, triples out to the right side. And the offensive line for Mount Whitney does a really nice job and gives Smith a lot of time. But Smith overthrows his receiver, who is not happy. That's Cody Atkinson, and he's reacting to the that's Jamal Clark. He's reacting to the overthrow. So not a very good start for Mount Whitney, and the Ridgeview offense gets another chance, and it'll be very good field position. You can be guaranteed of that because, as we see, Spears standing in his own 30.
Well, not to mention the punter hasn't had a very good night for Mount Whitney thus far.
He's had a busy night already. Nice deep snap. He bobbles it. He's in trouble, and his night just gets worse. His night just got a lot worse there. Who was that, Terry Lalia?
That was Cody Atkinson, the punter, but making the tackle was Bryson Keaton, I believe, number 5 here on the right side. But, man, and I'll tell you what, Vance, it is a lot harder to catch the football as a punter when it's sub 40 degrees, like it is tonight. But you got to manage. Then that's not something you want to do right now when you're down 14-0.
Boy, Brian wants a microphone so bad right now.
No, I'm glad he doesn't.
My main man, Brian Adams, we're working on his microphone. We're having difficulties, but
he can text me what he wants me to say.
And I think he's going to. Here we go, 1st and 10 for the Wolfpack. They flick it out to the right side, taken by Edwards. Edwards still on his feet and gets him out of the 12-yard line.
Well, they go back to the little quick outs in the flats, and Shannon Edwards, once again, it's good to see him back on the field after getting a little dinged up. So with 3:11 left to go here in the first quarter, Mount Whitney Ridgeview looking to go up by 20-some odd points here.
It's going to get ugly. First and 10. Edwards in motion. He takes it. There's a flag on the play, and Edwards gang tackle and thrown down about the 14-yard line. The Mount Whitney crowd. Something to get fired up about. Not a lot right now.
Well, Eddie Walker is definitely the defensive stalwart for this Mount Whitney Pioneers team. As we look towards the official, he goes up to the press box. They're going to signal an illegal procedure call, so possibly 5 men in the backfield since they didn't call it a dead ball.
Eddie Walker, 6'4", 220.
Yeah, he's a captain of this team.
Oh, okay.
So there's the main man.
Brian still chuckling, still laughing, enjoying Matt's comment about a punter not being able to handle the ball in 50-degree weather. Did he text you?
Yeah, he texted me. Yeah, he did. He actually texted me some insight, though, into Mount Whitney's offense. It had nothing to do with punters.
Oh, really? Okay.
Brian should know all about not being able to catch, though.
Testing.
Uh-oh. Right on time, Brian. Here we go on a 1st and 15. They get the ball out to Edwards again, and he gets taken down about the 5-yard line. And, here we go, Ridgeview again.
So you see Edwards able to get it across the 5-yard line. They're going to be inside the 5. Looks like they're possibly right at the 5-yard line, but Edwards definitely stepping up thus far, and 14-0 lead. And Ridgeview, you know, you would normally see Ridgeview keep it on the ground, but they're starting to go to the air here, but they're keeping it to those little short, quick flat routes because Mount Whitney has no idea what they're doing with it.
All right, 1st and goal. Man, the scoreboard operator is really not dialed in. I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna stop going off what he puts on the scoreboard. It's 2nd and 3. That was 2nd and 3. Now it should be
4th and 3, huh? It's going to be a 3rd and inches is what it's going to be at the 2-yard line, and that's, you know, the funny thing about that is that Ridgeview, now it's 4th and backward L.
But the scoreboard operator for Ridgeview's, I think he had a pretty good Thanksgiving.
It's 3rd and inches now, fella. That's what that means.
Oh, look, hey, the captain is back with us audibly, and this is going to be a touchdown Ridgeview, and they walk it in. And that's Dante Malloy. Let's go down to our captain, Brian Adams. Brian, I was going to ask you about your thought about this game at the beginning of the game, but your mic hasn't been working. Now I ask you about this game. We're still in the 1st quarter, and it's already 20-0.
Well, Vance, you know, Mount Whitney, I don't know how well they've done when they come down here, Vance, but they're not ready to play tonight. It just seems like tonight, Ridgeview can do whatever they want on offense or defense. So it's going to be a long night for them.
Thank you, Brian. Nice to have our captain with us officially now. Got his mic working, and a mystery. We got the cable switched, and he's in with us. So 21-0. And here's another look at this touchdown, Matt. Easy pickings here.
Yeah, it's very easy pickings thus far for Ridgeview, and you see Malloy, 5'8", 185, and he's not going to be stopped once he hits that corner, and he just walks right into the end zone, and Mount Whitney definitely looking overmatched tonight. It's just funny, Mount Whitney had a bye last week. You know, they finished 3rd in their conference in the West Yosemite League, finished 4-2, and they were awarded a bye. They were awarded the 5th seed in a bye, and, you know, they ended up losing their last game of the season to Redwood. But before that, they won 4 in a row, so, I mean, there were sparks of good things for this team, but, you know, right now they are not looking good. Ridgeview, on the other hand, lost. All they had to do was win against Golden Valley, and they would have been the South Yosemite League champions, but they lost to Golden Valley, thus creating a 3-way tie.
1:54 remaining in this 1st quarter. Right now, the Mount Whitney faithful, the crowd that's come down, is basically kind of just hanging out, eating some hot dogs, drinking some hot chocolate, and just kind of chit-chatting amongst themselves because they're not watching a very good football game from their perspective.
Well, which brings up a great point, Vance, I wanted to make. Like I said a couple weeks ago, when now BHS and Centennial tied for their league championship, how smart do the people who rearrange those leagues look? You have a 3-way tie in one league, you have a 2-way tie in the other. I mean, they tried to make power conferences, and that's exactly what they did, Brian.
Well, they need to redevelop it on one end because one was just lopsided.
Yeah.
The Garces, is that what you were talking about?
Yes.
All right. Mount Whitney receives the ball on the 20-yard line, and this young man runs into a lot of trouble, and that is Jamal Clark. It'll be 1st and 10, Mount Whitney.
Well, do you think Garces, though, will be the same team next year without Sykes, without Campbell's?
Well, but, you know, the thing I think is that Garces has an ability to get some players in there and be competitive. You know, last couple of years, they were competing with BHS 3 years ago when they went to the Valley Advance. They beat BHS, so I think they had the potential. I think Garces should have been in that other league with Ridgeview and West and those guys. And then maybe, is it Miramonte who's in there?
Yeah.
Miramonte should have been in the other one. But you can't complain about the rest of it. They did do a good job of matching everybody up.
Tonight, Garces, huge game against Clovis North. Smith, again, just has so much time back there. This time he's going to run the ball, and ouch, gets gang tackled. But, Brian, are you surprised? This Smith has 4 or 5 seconds every play to throw the ball.
Well, you know, but one thing that Matt talked about, Ridgeview has great athletes, and their secondary is probably one of the best overall when you talk about coverage. So now you let those guys cover. He has nowhere to throw the ball to, and it's going to be either sacks or short plays like that.
Got 2 officially, 2nd and 8. Smith takes back. Oh, and just underthrows the intended Kyle McAllister. McAllister had a little bit of room, but he was taken off without the football, and not a very good pass either. Brings up 3rd and 8.
Well, McAllister was upset on a long 3rd down pass that floated over his head earlier, but he has no one to blame on it but himself on that play. And you see McAllister right there, the 5'10", 175-pound junior. They're going to get another crack at it as it's 3rd and 8, like you said, Vance.
It must have been that 40 degrees, Vance, that, he couldn't catch it.
Smith in trouble, fires one, and some nice defensive effort out there by Brandon Tripp. The ball was intended for Lovera, and Lovera had no chance.
Boy, this is just a discombobulated Mount Whitney offense right now. They're showing no signs of life whatsoever, and Ridgeview can put an early nail in the coffin if they get good field position here and take it in for a score.
Well, guys, if you're talking about playoff runs, a lot of people, when they talked about it, or people ask me about, those teams we were on, the one thing that we were able to do is in the first couple of rounds is put people out early so your starters and your guys that play a lot can rest. And then that way when you're in that final game, you're fresh and you're ready to go. And I think that's what's going to happen tonight with Ridgeview. They're going to be able to ice these guys early in the second half, maybe one series apiece, and then put them on the sideline.
It's a great point. Another low snap, and it was picked up quickly and booted out there. But, man, that was a bad snap, bad effort. And, again, here comes Ridgeview at their own 46-yard line. Brian, I would think Coach Wren's going to get a chance to, he's going to get a chance to put these guys down. Sorry, not
Coach Manning.
So Dennis Manning's going to have a chance to put these guys down late in the second quarter.
Pat's rule, Pat Preston, his rule was when he come up to it, we had one series on defense, one series on offense in the second quarter, third quarter, starting the second half. Whatever we did, and then we were out.
Ferguson flicks one out there to Malloy. Malloy still on his feet. Malloy gets into Pioneer territory, about the 47, 48-yard line.
Well, Malloy had plenty of time there on the left side as that was a design play. You see Ferguson on the Audiovisual Plus instant replay, the pump fake to the right, then he rolls to his left, and he draws the defender in right there, and that leaves Malloy wide open. And then Malloy, it's all him from there as he breaks a couple tackles, makes a couple moves, gets up across the 50-yard line for a 2nd and 3 with 20 seconds left. We're nearing the end of the first quarter here. Pass.
Trickeration here. He's going to hang on to it and keep it. And Jacob Spears jumps, dives, and floats to another first down. That takes us to the end of the first quarter. We'll be back with the second quarter. Bright House Network's high school football game of the week. The Wolfpack are howling.
Bakersfield's only sports station that's all sports, all day, every day. Fox Sports Radio 970. With Dan Patrick in the morning. And Jim Rome 9 to noon. Home for the world champion Los Angeles Lakers and NASCAR. And now the home for the Bakersfield Condors. No swap shop, no Tradio, no cheap coupons. Sports. It's all we do. Fox Sports Radio 970.
Welcome back, everybody. Vance Palm alongside Matt Alvarez and the Premier Equipment Rental Scissor Lift with Carlos Anguiano up here and Brian Adams down on the grass, our BHS driller and UCLA Bruin. And the Bruins they played the Sun Devils today. About 7,000 points scored in that one, Brian.
What was the final score, Vance? Be gentle with me.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know the final score.
They played today?
5-0! Oh boy. I don't know the final score, Brian. I know it was 55-something in the third.
Who was up?
Sun Devils, but the Bruins came back, almost won it.
Yeah, it was going back and forth for a while.
Over 100 points, had to be.
I knew something was scary when I saw 20-something points with the Bruins by the Bruins.
Well, you could have really helped me out, Brian, with a UCLA victory, because that would have knocked ASU out of bowl eligibility, which would have been another little bit of a bragging right there for this Wildcat.
Yeah, your Wildcats hung in there with the Ducks for a while, but Here we go. 2nd and 10 after he bobbled. Another one. Goodness gracious. Ferguson having trouble with the rock right now. And Mount Whitney, oh my God. Oh, he took his helmet off.
Well, by the rule book, that is a flag.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
I don't understand why there are no flags on the field. I mean, that's textbook, not even fine print. That's bold. If you take your helmet off, on the field, especially in celebration like he seemed to have done, but then look, he made it seem like, oh, there's something in there. I got to get it out real quick.
That's Nick Cavadas. And I guess when you're getting pummeled 21-0 in the first quarter and you make a tackle, you got to come up with something to fire you up. You got to come up with something to get your squad going here. And now Ridgeview breaks out of the huddle. And that's going to be too long. It took too long to get the play going, and Coach Manning didn't dig it, called a timeout.
Well, could Mount Whitney
beat the flag? Did he beat the flag, though?
Yeah,
he
they
did.
gave him the timeout.
Okay, all right.
Hey, Matt, you're talking about knocking Arizona State out of bowl eligibility. Now, you got to be careful because we all share in that revenue when they go to these bowl games.
Oh, that's true.
So you don't want all these teams all of a sudden bowl ineligible like my Bruins there.
So they out. Bruins can't get in, huh?
Man, they can't come to the Potato Bowl,
Oh.
man. What's it called now?
The Gold Empire Bowl.
The Gold Empire Bowl. They can't even go to the little Golden Empire League Bowl.
They couldn't make it to the Cereal Bowl. 10.5 remaining here in this first half. It's a 3rd and 15. Coach Dennis Manning beat the flag and called a timeout. Didn't have their offensive focus as they broke out of the huddle. It was getting close to a delay of game penalty. It's been all Ridgeview since the very, very early goings.
I heard the Golden Empire Bowl was actually a pretty good game, though. You know, Canyons and
Then it was Fullerton.
Canyons and Fullerton. I heard Fullerton pull down the nail biter.
There's about 200 people there, which was sad. Ferguson, this time hands the ball off to Martin. Martin still on his feet. A couple of big hits there. And picked up about 5 yards. Some big power running backs, don't they? Big guys.
He's got to be planning on going on this, fellas. To run that play on 3rd down, he's got to be going on 4th.
Sure. Well, he's in that neck of the woods where, you know.
Too long for a field goal, too short for a punt, especially by high school standards. But you see Brock Martin on the Audiovisual Plus instant replay. Good job of swarming to the ball. Finally, Mount Whitney seeming to click a little bit here, but.
Well, Moya standing right next to Ferguson here on a 4th and 8. They fake it to Moya. Ferguson runs, has a man open deep if he decides to go, and he's in the end zone. Oh, my goodness. The ball is deflected, and it ends up being a very fortuitous deflection because the Ridgeview Wolfpack get a first down out of it. Oh, goodness. He had a receiver wide open in the end zone, but I think running to his left is too much to ask.
Yeah, he was going to have to throw across his body if he wanted to get it all the way out there. But you know what? Like you said, it was a fortuitous bounce to Brock Martin, who pulled it down for a first down.
Wow. When it's going your way, huh?
And you know how it goes, man. We've all been in those games. Matt, you alluded earlier about they're passing the ball more than usual. When we saw them earlier against Foothill, they had a dual quarterback system. Now they've gone to one quarterback, and he is more their passing guy.
Little pitch out to the right side. This is taken by Moya. Moya cuts back upfield and just chomping up yards. Flag on the play. Not quite sure what it'll be. It's thrown way over here on the near side.
Well, it's thrown in the backfield. It's going to be a hold against Ridgeview. So that's going to be their 3rd penalty of the game thus far. And, you know, all 3 of them have come at inopportune times, even though you wouldn't know by looking at the scoreboard. But let's see if we could see who got the hold on this one. Oh, you see right there, the number 76.
The big fella.
Got him.
The big fella.
Justin Wesson. You know, he's a team captain, too. 6'1", 230-pound senior. He just tackled his man.
Aren't captains allowed like a couple of holds a game?
Well, you would think.
9:15 remaining in this first half. It's all Wolfpack. Looks like it's going to be more here on this drive. 1st and 10 from the Pioneer 29-yard line as Brandon Tripp is in the backfield, and he gets the screen pass. He's got it at the 30. Got a lot of Pioneers up there, and they bring him down at about the 22, 23-yard line.
Well, good job to get that yardage back that they just lost on the penalty. It's going to bring up, looks like a 2nd and 10 almost. Or no, maybe about a 2nd and 12, 13. We have a bad angle looking at it from this side, but now look at the Ridgeview crowd. They're still into it, up 21. This cold night with the Thundersticks.
We're up here with Carlos Santana. singing. He's got his sunglasses on, his beanie. Talk about a guy that enjoyed Thanksgiving too much, Sanguiano. Oh, what a nice pass. Right in out of the hands of the intended receiver, right off his chest as well. And that was Jacob Spears. And Spears, 9 out of 10 times will pull that in. Well, what a nice pass this was. Brian, right on the money.
Well, Vance, you know, one thing about Tyler Ferguson, he's gone to some of those those little quarterback camps.
Yeah.
And he's gotten Top Gun at one of those camps. I can't remember which one it is. So he's, you know, his parents are definitely trying to put him on the same thing that the Kesslers did with Cody, getting to those camps, getting your name out there, and winning those awards at those camps, because he can definitely sling it.
Boys, he did that. He did there. He's got Tripp behind him. He's in the shotgun on a 3rd and 12, and in motion they send Edwards. And they kick it out to Edwards. Edwards going to get strung out to the sidelines. Edwards still on his feet. Oh, did a nice job of balleting his way down to about the 15-yard line.
Well, with a 21-0 lead here, they're well within field goal range. Let's see if they bring out the field goal unit, and they do. It looks like it's going to be Reyes attempting a field goal again.
Well, Pioneer defense, if this is exactly what happens and they hold him to a field goal, it'll be a better than 7 stance.
It's definitely a victory for him.
Uh-oh, uh-oh.
You know,
Brian used the victory word. So it'd be a better than 7 stance. Here's the snap. High snap, good hold. And boy, that just looked good from the very beginning. What a nice boot that was by Daniel Reyes, the junior. And now it's 24-0. Hey, Carlos, she's got her shades on too. That must be the in thing tonight.
Well, I'll tell you, Vance, I guess now what you got to do if you're the coaching staff is, say, did anybody see the Auburn-Alabama game today?
Yeah, exactly. Well,
I mean, that's what you got to tell them. They were down 24-0. We can come
Carlos,
back.
don't jump on these things. What are you doing? Hey, everybody, Zach, give me another look at this guy. Brian, I'm going to get back to that point in the Auburn game, but we have.
No, I'm laughing at my man up there jumping. He's used to being down here with me on the ground.
I'm
man.
not laughing one
Carlos,
bit.
Take a look to your left.
And Matt's face was.
Look at this cat.
Oh man, Carlos, my man.
Bernie. And people wonder all the time, Vance, how many years are you going to do that Bright House? I'll say, I'm going to do it till it gets boring. Obviously, I'll be doing it forever. With cats like Carlos and Guiana. Look at this.
Everything looks better in slow motion.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, you're right, Brian. Tonight, well, everybody that was able to watch the game today, 24-0. Alabama had Auburn down 24-0. And can you imagine who would have thunk that a Saban-coached team would allow that to happen, being up 24-0 against the Auburn Tigers?
But you know, I mean, but that's what happens though when teams and players and coaches don't believe a game is over. And I think, Matt, you alluded to earlier about the sideline. The Mount Whitney guys just don't seem to have that life, you know.
They also don't have Cam Newton.
Who knows? Anything can happen.
Well, a bullet kick is going to be taken by their captain, Walker, and Walker looking for some room out here. Walker gets to the 40. Walker. And they're looking for a flag, and they get it. They get it. Late hit in the sidelines.
Yeah, a little bit of undisciplined play out there by.
That was Moya, I think, that hit him about 3 yards out of bounds.
It was Moya. Yeah, you see the bullet kick trying to be fielded there by number 12. That was Walker, like you said, and then he picks it up off his own bounce, gets to the outside. He actually has a little bit of room here. He got some good blockers, got a little bit of a wall set up. But as he heads towards the sidelines, you see, let's see if he was out of. Yeah.
Big time.
Yeah, he was out of bounds.
Well, man, you sure like to see that Walker get involved in this offense a little more.
Well, you know, I mean, they have to do what they've done so far when they had that 4-game winning streak. You got to do some things, have some success, little successes. But right now, you held them to 3 points. You got a return. You're on the other side of the 50-yard line. You're attacking. Who knows? You score right here, you might get yourself back in the ball game.
8:01 remaining in this first half. Smith hands the ball off to Robles. Robles gets to the middle of the football field as far as east-west is concerned, or close to it, but the ball is at the 35-yard line, just inside the hash. Clock continues to tick, and you know, we see their captain, Eddie Walker, down here. He's a guy, and it's an incomplete pass. Boy, I'd sure like to see that Eddie Walker involved on some more of the offensive efforts here by the Pioneers, but he's on the sidelines, defense only tonight.
Yeah, he's listed as a wide receiver on the roster, but then again, so is everybody else. But
Hey, we speak, and there he comes. Well, you just never know, do you? So now Walker goes in as a gimpy Trevor Fletcher. Kind of hobbles off a little bit.
And you always want to involve your big-time players out there, you know, and we talk about Eddie Walker. He's 6'4", 215, so it certainly gives him a height advantage on the outside, and that's where he's positioned right now on the far side of the field as a wide receiver as Fletcher makes his way off the field.
Fletcher's a senior. He's gimpy. He's going to the trainer's table. 3rd and 7. Smith pump fakes, wants to go to the corner, floats one out there, and he runs out of real estate. No room whatsoever. You saw it coming with the big over-exaggerated pump fake, but great defense out there as they ran right by our captain. That was one receiver against two very, very good defensive backs.
Well, I tell you, I watch this. We see it week in, week out. You're going to see on this, the receiver never has a chance. Edwards does a great job of running to the sideline. This is a defender. You have to save some room out here on that line so that ball can come over. The quarterback's throwing the ball where he is in relationship to you.
4th down, guys.
They're going to go for it. Now they move guys all over the place here.
What did they have to lose?
I don't know. The coach is calling it right now. So they change it all up, and it looks like they're going to go to the air. Or maybe a draw play, quarterback draw. They go to the air, and a nice pass, but it's just not handled out there. Intended for Luke Clements, and man, that was a nice toss.
You know, you can't draw. You can't be on the coaches on this.
No, this was nice.
They're drawing up good plays, and guys are just dropping balls. So maybe it's a Visalia thing, Matt, not a punter thing. That it's 40 degrees, they can't catch the ball here tonight.
Oh, that was nice.
But,
yeah.
I mean, you can't ask for a better thrown ball than that on the out. And it should have been an easy first down.
Well, now with 7:23 left in the first half, that's a mountain of time for Ridgeview. They'll look to score twice in 7 and 23.
Well, you would think with a name like Mount Whitney, the tallest peak in California, that they would be accustomed to cold weather. But that's certainly not the case this early going.
Ferguson stood up at the 40, still on there. He's not going down yet. And they let him go when they hear the whistle. He doesn't go down. Man, I thought he might break to the outside and really cause some damage. Well, some big games going on around the city tonight. As we see a replay here. You can't see it. Look at the left of your screen there. Boy, there's a lot of real estate out there, but he decides to cut back in. 2nd and 6. Ferguson has Keaton behind him. Spears way out to the left. They go to Keaton. Keaton takes the pitch, cuts upfield. Keaton puts the afterburners on. Woo, man, he is quick.
Oh, look at that block he got there from number 58, Chris Wilkinson, the offensive tackle on the left side of the ball. You see here, watch Wilkinson right there, number 58, knocking his man, or check that right there is Wilkinson. Oh, that's a big block right there on number 21. Dylan Kelly, as a little bit of a breeze starts to get going here, Vance.
Now it's starting to get a little nippy, and that breeze is blowing the smoke of those barbecued ribs this way. Hey, by the way, Kern County, I'm hearing that last week, my first missed game in 5 years.
Oh, boy.
The rookie buys dinner for Brian. I've heard it all. I've heard it all.
Knew that was coming.
Martin takes the pass, gets thrown down. So what was that all about? Did you just decide, you know what, Palm's not here?
I've never
save money.
I've never seen you break up a fight in the parking lot before either.
What in the world does that mean?
I don't know what he's talking about. I don't know what he's talking about.
What?
I don't know what he's talking about, Kern County. I was just eating some wings that he bought.
Oh, did Brian break up a fight?
Possibly.
Oh, so you rewarded him like a kind of a hero dinner? Oh, man, now it gets worse. Now it's getting worse. All right, 2nd and 7. Ferguson drops back, fires. Bullet out to the right side, caught by Edwards. Man, that looked good, really nice. He's really poised back there, Brian.
Yeah, and all joking aside, one thing when you watch Ferguson and you watch Cody Kessler, their ball is different than a lot of the other quarterbacks in town. On that pass right there, it's a very tight spiral,
Yep.
and the ball really tails into the receiver. So it's a receiver's dream when you can play with quarterbacks who can throw like that.
Speaking of other quarterbacks tonight, Fresno Central at Centennial and Cody Kessler. Clovis East at Bakersfield and Brian Burrell. Ferguson fires this out a little low. A little low for our likings. Incomplete. That'll stop the clock. 24-0. Starting to get a little chilly now.
Well, the last update we got from Centennial was 7-6. Golden Hawks were holding a lead over Central, but yeah, that ball might have been a little low, but it still should have been caught. He got two hands on it, did
No doubt.
Brock Martin.
No, it's been 13. It's 13-7. It's 13-7 at the end of the first quarter. Central's up. And it's going to be strength against strength, because one thing that Central has is good secondary coverage. And one of those corners happens to be a nephew of mine, Lawrence Moore Jr. His dad played at BHS back in the 80s and went to Arizona State. And I talked to him before this week. He said that that's their strength, is their coverage. They're very physical, so it's going to be strength against strength, a passing offense against a good passing defense.
Oh, boy. So Centennial down right now to Central. So some epic games taking place around the city right now in second week of the playoffs. We're enjoying a 24-0 rout by the Ridgeview Wolfpack. How about Stockdale at Clovis West tonight? Stockdale, thinking that they may be the Centennial of 2010. 2010.
Well, they're not going to surprise anybody after going undefeated in league play last year. They're certainly not going to surprise anybody this year, but they've got a tough task on their hands tonight, though, Vance.
Last year, Centennial
That's
came in
a knack pick, guys. Not a chance. A knack pick. They don't throw the ball well enough to beat them.
Hey, that reminds me. We'll have the APA Awards to mention here. If not next week, then the final week of the Valley Championship, the Adams Palm Alvarez Awards, the APAs. 4:52 remaining here in this first half. They go up the middle. They hand the ball off.
I don't think they got it.
Oh, boy. Looks like Mount Whitney might have held them on the handoff to Keaton, and they do. So the Mount Whitney fans letting their football players hear. Boy, I'd love to see that. That's great. Good stuff.
And they came all the way from Visalia to watch this game tonight to brave out the weather. And you see great defensive penetration there, not allowing Keaton to go up the middle. And, boy, just a host of Mount Whitney defenders.
Jared
Jones,
6'2", 230, a junior.
Now if they could have scored in the last series and you get the ball back right here, now you're talking about 24-14, but the offense has to get something going.
Speaking of that offense, Chris Smith, the quarterback, takes a look, hands the ball off up the middle. And that's a nice defensive effort right in the middle of the football field. Josh Canterbury, 6 foot, 235-pound junior, wears number 74. He was in there on that hit, as well as Mason Edwards, another junior. So here comes a quick kick out to the right side, and looks like it's going to be about a 5-6 yard gain. That Whitney crowd starting to like it. Caught out there by Clements.
Well, they're starting to finally move the ball, as you see here on the AV Plus instant replay. They hit it out to Clements. Luke Clements on the far side of the field, and he sees a little bit of space and cuts it back in, but he gets pile driven into the ground.
Now Wilson on that play, fellas, almost read the play right, but then he has to go and hustle, and he can make that a shorter gain if he hustles back and makes a play after he misses the ball.
Smith, not on the same page as Jamal Clark. And now it's going to bring up a 4th and 2, so with 3:48 remaining in this first half and 24 points to nothing. Coach says, let's go for it again. Let's try to make something happen. 4th and 2, maybe a hard count, but he's in the shotgun. Coach gives them a signal here at the very last. Well, they're getting plays at the very last second here. They better get this play off. It's going to be very close. They get it off. Shotgun. They get it out to the left side, and it's going to be a first down. Nice play. Good tackle. Good hit out there, but first down, Pioneers.
And good job by Kyle McAllister to jump right up after that play. He took a huge hit.
Edwards popped and watch this. Could be a candidate for the Crab Crush.
Watch. Spin. Oh, boy. Just throwing your body into that hit for sure.
1st and 10, Pioneers. It's getting chilly up here. And McAllister, a workhorse for this Pioneer football team. And he'll come out and get a breather, and they'll send in Elijah Robles.
Well, good job by McAllister to keep his feet driving on this play. He was able to carry along number 52, Christian Alas, with him. It'll be a 2nd and 6 here, it looks like. And Smith keeps it on the far side. He's not going to get much out of that, though, as Ridgeview sniffed that one out right off the bat. And, you know, they keep trying to go to the outside. And Smith is a passing quarterback, but I guess they have, you know, stopped going to – they're going to stop going over the middle. They're going to keep going to the flat routes like they've been doing. They really can't go across the middle with this fast defense.
No, they can't. But this is one thing when, you know, it was a corner, and I was fortunate that with Harnett, he put a lot of pressure, and we were able to do some things. They've got a player injured right now. It's like on the far sideline.
Well, the injured player is Leonard Williams, and Williams went down with, we think maybe just a cramp.
That's what it looks like.
A cramp.
No, he's walking off under his own power, and that's always a good sign.
Fellas, is there a difference between cramp in cold weather and cramp in hot weather? I mean, is there a...
I've never cramped in cold weather. I don't know about you, Brian.
It's funny you mention that because I was watching a game a couple weeks ago, and they were talking about that it has that weather that you can get a cramp in cold or hot weather has to deal with what's in
your fluids,
electrolytes and the fluids in your body.
Right. I just wondered if you're so used to seeing them in August and September,
right.
You know. Well, 3rd and 5.
Dr. Adams.
Matt Whitney crowd. You know what? It was I thought a decent question, and he answered it very poignantly.
Absolutely.
3rd and 5. They're going to go to the air. Here's a man wide open, just standing there. Can he get to that first down marker? No, he can't. Well, that's a really nice open field tackle out there by Brendan Tripp. It was he and Clements only out there.
That was actually Odrum Brooks who made the tackle on the far side, or on the near side rather. And you see, all he has to do is keep the receiver right there, Clements, from going outside. But unfortunately, let him get outside, but he made up for it with the tackle. But as a cornerback, you always want to keep the receiver to the inside because that's where all your help is.
Nice tackle, Mr. Brooks. I apologize. It's Odrum Brooks that made that tackle. Now here's another 4th down, 4th and 3 this time. So they've had their fair share of 4th downs. Smith might be able to run for the first down. He's going to have to get some room. And, it's going to be close. Very, very close. We'll see where this mark is. And it's going to be at the 34-yard line.
Not even close.
Okay.
He's about a yard short from our vantage point right here.
It. Looked like he might be able to make something happen, but the Wolfpack does it again. Boy, right there, Smith's going to have to just take one for the team if he wants to get that first down, you know?
Yeah, he's got to lower his shoulder for sure, but he tried to go around Dante Malloy, and, you know, not too many people are going to beat Malloy on the outside.
1st and 10, Wolfpack.
Got a score from BHS. They're up 19-7 in the second quarter.
So the Drillers taking care of business. Brian's Blue Crew making it happen over there near Oleander. 1:47 left in this first half. Ferguson takes a look, wants to go long. He's in trouble, but he kicks it out. It's beautiful. What a play. Moya takes it, and Moya stays with him long enough.
Well, a good job by number 73. That was Jared Jones. Good job by him to get in there and strip the ball out. Too bad it was after Moya had been down for about 45 seconds. But nonetheless, you could see on the replay, you'll probably be able to see on the replay here in the AV Plus Instant Replay, and it was a great job, like you said, by Ferguson to get the ball away. And then at the very end of the play, you see 72 right there coming in, and he almost knocks the ball loose, but no points for that.
Ferguson, there's a ton of interference down there. I can't believe there's no call there. Ferguson's going to have the ball, and I can't believe there wasn't a flag thrown. The coaching staff for Ridgeview just livid over there. The receiver on the far end of the football field just mugged as he was trying to go down the field. They were tangled up, arms in arms, and grabbing each other.
I saw what you're talking about, Vance. He tackled Wilson on the sideline. We talked about that before. When you're about to get beat, just grab him or hit him, and that time he got away with it.
Sure
they didn't even call it, but Ferguson did a great job of scrambling and picking up a first down.
Boy, Ferguson's dangerous. We're starting to see the whole package tonight. 1st and 10, $1:17 remaining in this first half. Ferguson, play action, goes across to the left, has his man open. Oh, goodness, should have thrown it a long time ago, and it's dropped by Edwards. He had Jacob Spears open, but I think that, I don't know, he was like telling Spears, I don't know what he was saying.
Well, and he had Brock Martin open, as you see here on the AV Plus Instant Replay. Ferguson's looking, watch over the middle right here, just to the top left of your screen. Right there, he's got Brock Martin wide open, but instead he opts to go to Shannon Edwards, and then Edwards dropped the ball.
I'm going to tell you, if he throws that ball to Spears, that's a good chance. I don't know what kind of safety that is, but any decent safety with that much time is going to make a play on it.
Right. He had him earlier out in the open in the flats. I wasn't really talking about the long pass as much as I was out in the flats.
When he first went out.
Right. a good 25-yard gain.
When he made that first break over.
Yep. 2nd and 10. Now Ferguson fires one out to the left side, and that one's dropped by Edwards. So now it's starting to get a little disjointed here late in this second quarter.
You got to break out the stickum. I mean, they got to spit on the gloves, do whatever they need to do to get the pitch and catch connection going.
I think the wafting smell of that barbecue has these football players losing focus.
It could be it. On that one, though, I don't know if it just didn't look right on that one. I don't know if the depth wasn't right, but the ball was definitely thrown on the other side where Shannon had to do like a pirouette. So they're just not on point on that play. But right here, they got 3rd and 10. It's not like there's anything to lose for them. They're up 24-0, so if they don't get it, they can go for it on 4th anyway.
They're going to stay in the air, flick it out to the far side. And Martin on the reception gets maybe 2 or 3 or 4 yards after the catch.
It's going to stop the clock here with 57 seconds left, and I believe they're probably going to go for it on 4th down.
And this might be a chance, though, Matt, 'cause I know you said a couple times, and Vance, you guys said a couple times there's been somebody when they did that double post type move, that second guy's been open. And I don't know if they have it where you might want to roll him out and then stop and throw back to that backside post and take a chance for a touchdown with 57 seconds left and up 24-0.
Ferguson takes a look, fires. Edwards hit right as the ball arriving, and another stop, another hold by the Pioneers as Kelly delivers the blow.
And another drop pass by Edwards. I mean, this one hits him right in the chest, and even though he gets hit, he's still got to hang on to this one.
So the problem with this one, it was telegraphed. And, he wants them the whole time that's going to be thrown, so it's got a back great chance to make a break and to rise at the same time and knock it loose.
Halftime score over at Garces Memorial High School. Garces 6, Clovis North 7.
And with 57 seconds left to go here, Ridgeview 24, Mount Whitney nothing, and it's getting a little more chilly here, Vance.
Yeah, it's starting to pick up here, this breeze.
It would help if the action on the field would start to heat up.
Smith, again, a ton of time behind that big offensive line, but the DBs for Ridgeview doing stuff. Fumble! Well, he held on to that football a long, long time. I mean, listen, if nobody's open, nobody's open. But,
yeah, I agree with you. You got to get rid of the ball. You got to go down or something. I mean, you can't give up a fumble this deep in your own territory with 47 seconds left to go and down 24 points. But that's exactly what Smith does. You see Smith just runs out of time, and then, right now he feels someone on him. That's about the time you got to go down. I mean, he's still trying to fight for yards. His feet are still chopping. You got to admire the effort.
And
but
that's when the ball gets stripped. 1st and 10, Ferguson back on the field. They're going to go to the air again, it looks like. No, they hand the ball off right behind the center, and it's Moya that takes it. And
they're signaling
for equipment timeout, so they got a chance to call a play right now.
Well, they actually signaled for a timeout on the far sideline. Coach Manning
just took it. That gives us a chance to thank our sponsors here in the first half. First and foremost, Premier Equipment Rental. These great scissor lifts. Thank you to Len Goodmanson and everybody over at Premier Equipment Rental. I'll be renting an extended lift here very soon to be putting the Christmas tree. I've got about a 100-foot pine tree in my backyard in the corner. Nah, let's go 80 feet.
80 feet.
And I'm going to string up extension cord all the way to the top and put a big star up there. It's going to light up the neighborhood, and I'm going to get it at Premier Equipment Rentals, the extended lift. And then how about our great media sponsors? No, first, Audiovisual Plus, everything you would need for all of your audiovisual needs, including the podium. And then we have the coolest, hippest, most dialed-in media partners we could ever ask for. First of all, Crab Radio. We're going to have the Crab Crush. Got a couple of big candidates already. Look at that cheesy Matt Alvarez. And then Fox Sports Radio 970 as we're back in. And then, of course, the Prime Minister of Sports, Todd Strain, KGET Friday Football Extra. Thank you. Did you guys get a look at the cheese ball of Matt Alvarez up here, man? Goodness gracious, man.
Some good Gouda.
As we're messing around and goofing around, there's a football game going on below us, but another timeout. Okay, there's a look at him. There's me, serious, notes, rosters, and there's Matt.
Oh, you're welcome for the notes, by the way, Vance, and the rosters.
And you're welcome for you're welcome for me printing yours out for you since you forgot to print them. Brian, did you get one of those texts? Did you get one of those texts? I got one from Matt.
I did get one.
You got to bring my notes. I forgot to print them. How about the email he sent? Yes, even I take Thanksgiving off. That was a beauty. That was a dandy.
Yes.
Kern County, you got to know, Matt Alvarez, a dream come true for Brian and I. We do our homework. We do our homework. We know what we're talking about, but Matt actually puts it on paper for us, does a lot of groundwork every week, emails everybody at Bright House and Brian and myself all the notes. So, Matt, appreciate it. Here we go, 3rd and 10. Again, Ridgeview going to go to the air. Ferguson drops back. Has a nice pocket. He steps out of it and goes right. Fires across the side. There's going to be a flag on the play, and it's almost inevitably going to be a holding call with all that time to throw, and the Wolfpack's looking at the officials.
Either that or the line. I think number 70 was down the field too, so either way.
Now, he gave him the holding call, so, you know, he had so much time.
You had to think that something was wrong because he had so much time, but he also had a lot of room to run if he wanted to.
It was almost unnecessary to even come close to a hold. Let's see what we can see here.
I think it's going to be on 55, Willoughby. Yep, it's going to be on 55.
Well,
I'll tell you this. If I am the coaching staff, I'm not happy right now with the execution the last few series. It's been very sloppy, discombobulated, as you said. You know, it just hasn't been a well-run 2-minute drill. Play before that, you can't take a sack. You got to get rid of the ball. I mean, there's some small fundamental things that I'm not liking with Ridgeview right now. They just seem to be disinterested right now in playing football.
Yeah, low snap. Oh, low bubble. Ferguson in trouble. Ferguson. Oh, and he tries to pitch and fumble. Well, Brian, you said it, and it happened again. It's almost as if they've mailed it in here the last couple of minutes, thinking like, oh, we got these guys. Fumble. Pioneer football.
Well, right there, Ferguson is trying to make a play. But that's the situation. He missed the first time. Just following the ball, you're up 24-0. Now at 14 seconds left, you give him at least one chance to make a throw downfield, get a pass interference, or maybe score a touchdown.
Wow, trying to make something out of absolutely nothing. And the prescience of Brian Adams to bring up this lackadaisical effort here late in the second quarter, and it just manifested itself right in front of our own eyes. So 14 seconds remaining here in the first half. Mount Whitney, you never know. Just a chance to even put something up there.
Well, if you're Mount Whitney, you want to go into the locker room with points here.
Smith fires one out, and it's going to be almost intercepted.
That would have been about right, though, Vance, if it was picked off by Edwards there and ran back to the house.
Well, I'm going to tell you, if I'm Mount Whitney, I'm going to pump fake that same pass and try to throw one right here by that W.
Well, there's a timeout called by Mount Whitney. Head coach is going to take a moment to talk about it with 8 seconds remaining. Once again, I'm Vance Palm, joined by Matt Alvarez, Foothill High Trojan, one of the stellar kickers of his 4-year era there in high school. And then he went on to University of Arizona, where his Wildcats today hung on for a while against the Oregon Ducks. Brian Adams down on the grass.
He went to Southern first. Remember,
Southern first.
We got to give him some credit.
Okay,
it could be because tomorrow, tomorrow they play the Bayou Classic, the annual Southern versus Grambling game on NBC.
Southern first, and then Arizona, and now he has become a household name in Kern County for his work on radio in the morning and his Bright House work here and covering football games with me with the Renegades.
BC Renegades. Yeah.
Renegades had a nice season. I saw Coach Chudy yesterday passing out some turkeys and ran into Jeff Chudy. And
did he yell at you?
No, not at all. He was very gracious and thankful for the turkeys for his guys. And we started talking about that one Cerritos play. Everybody wants to talk about that one play.
The block field goal?
Yeah, unbelievable. Here we go. 3rd and 10. In the shotgun is their quarterback, Chris Smith. 3-man rush only, a lot of time. He still gets flushed out of the pocket. He better get rid of it. Oh, he takes a big hit, crunched into the ground, and that's it. The end of the first half, and 24-0, and it is all Ridgeview, and it should have been more. For Matt and Brian, I'm Vance. We'll be back with the third quarter. Ridgeview pummeling Mount Whitney on Bright House Networks.
Got a job to do? Premier Equipment Rentals is your answer. Residential or industrial, we've got exactly what you need to get the job done. Whether it's a drill, trencher, bobcat, backhoe, or excavator, you can always count on Premier Equipment Rentals. And with our new extended hours, we're available when you need us. Check us out at 3217 Patton Way and 5001 Stein Road, or give us a call to find out more. Don't forget to ask about our weekend specials. Make your next project a breeze with Premier Equipment Rental.
Bakersfield's only sports station that's all sports, all day, every day. Fox Sports Radio 970. With Dan Patrick in the morning and Jim Rome 9 to noon. Home for the world champion Los Angeles Lakers and NASCAR. And now the home for the Bakersfield Condors. No swap shop, no Tradio, no cheap coupons. Sports. It's all we do. Fox Sports Radio 970.
Back here for the start of the second half. Ridgeview up 24-0 over Mount Whitney, and for the first time tonight, we're going to see a kickoff from the Mount Whitney side of things. And back to receive this one will be Shannon Edwards, who's been all over the field. He's been hurt, he's been cold, he's been on offense, he's been on defense, and now he's at the 10-yard line, set to receive this kick from Cody Atkinson.
Matt, they better do a good job of covering because both Keaton and Edwards have returned kicks for touchdowns this year.
Go for the onside. Oh, it takes a high bounce. And this might work very much against the Pioneers. It was taken on a big, beautiful bounce and brought down to about the 38-yard line. Jaime Alberto, the 5'6", 160-pound senior, said, "Thank you very much. I'm out of here." He was gone. He caught it on the 45 and made it to the 40 on the other side of the football field. So Ridgeview starts off with a really nice opportunity at the 40-yard line of the Pioneers. You got to hand it to the Mount Whitney coaches. Why not? Go for it.
Well,
try it.
That's why not, Vance, because now down 24-0, they have the ball at the 40-yard line.
Yeah, it took a really bad bounce. Just hopped. Oh, big hit at the line of scrimmage, but you know, took a very funky bounce. It gets settled in here. This game started, it was about 55 degrees or 50 degrees, and it's about 35 now. Yeah, young lady, we all have that sentiment. It's chilly. Woo! Pitch out to Moya. Moya gets a couple yards there. His Pioneer defense has come out fired up.
Well, just like they ended the half fired up as well, Vance. But yeah, coming out right now, they know that they need to make a stop here. First of all, because of that decision to make the onside kick to begin the second half. But secondly, because now they're in bad position. And Ridgeview, all they have to do is just take it in about 38 yards here to hit pay dirt.
We're getting scores from around the city and the valley. And boy, oh boy, there's some nervous home teams here in Bakersfield. And we hear Stockdale's handling the pressure as we see Ferguson rolls out, still looking to toss it, and finally does. And looked like it might have been bobbled for a second as it was hauled in by Brock Martin. And he gets thrown down upon reception. So the Pioneers from Mount Whitney, some inspirational words given to them at halftime.
Yeah, absolutely. As you see Ferguson on the AV Plus instant replay just running out of options, so he decides to dump it off to Brock Martin, and I'm sure that Martin was probably thinking,
hey,
I'm going to get hurt. I'm going to get hit. Please don't throw it to me.
And the Wolfpack will punt.
Well, for the first time tonight. Looks like it's Seha, the ex-quarterback for this team.
Perfect deep snap, and he's going to run. No, he's going to pass. He throws one out, and it's going to be almost caught. Whoa, that was close. That had everything. Looked like a fake run. Then it drops back for a pass, and you said it, former quarterback. He throws across the field, and it was broken up out there by Matt Pasqua. Pasqua probably could have picked this off and ran it back for 70.
Oh, they might have missed a face mask there, Vance, on Seha. If we could get another look at that replay, as you see there at the tail end of the replay, that was number 35. Brock Martin once again on the receiving end. But look, let's see if the referee missed a face mask here. Watch. You see Seha and then. Oh, yeah.
Well, it was a glance as a nice, big, strong run right in the middle of the football field, as that was taken by Kyle McAllister. And, you know, make no mistake about it, Mount Whitney has a very, very tall climb, pardon the pun for the mountain reference, but they've got a tall climb to get back into this game, down 24-0, but they've certainly started off the second half the way you'd want a team to fight like that. And look at this, Smith breaks out to the 40, and he gets down about the 33-yard line. Captain, do we have you yet?
Yeah, you know, Vance, I'm listening to you guys talking, and all of a sudden it seems like Mount Whitney's got a little life. But, you know, I'm thinking if I'm Ridgeview, I'm up 24-0. I'm not going to reveal my fake punt at this point in time, so that somebody has it on film to study me in the next couple of rounds.
What a point, Brian. What a point. And Matt mentioned it right before the snap was made. Joey Seha, who has a gun. 1st and 10. Mount Whitney. Fumble!
Now it looks like Mount Whitney jumped back on top of it, but
that ball was fumbled twice, actually.
Yeah, it looked like Kyle McAllister jumped on the winning lottery ticket there, and he's going to come off the field. Or was McAllister the one who fumbled it?
Here's a look at it in our Audiovisual Plus instant replay.
Yeah, it was McAllister who fumbled it on the far side of the field. But
as you see it bouncing on the left side, then he gets picked up again, and then fumbled again.
Well, it hit Eddie Walker right in his face mask.
Smith drops back, has a lot of time, finds his man. That's Walker. Fumble! And he gets it back. What a hit. Another candidate for the Crab Crush.
Well, good awareness by Walker to understand the bounce of the football there. And sometimes, like you said, it can take weird bounces, but there you see Walker catching the ball and then just getting unloaded on by Odrum Brooks. And then Walker jumps right back on it, though, to save, to salvage what little play they had. Now it's going to be 3rd and 15, though.
No huddle offense.
That's a pick.
And he was out of bounds. Brian called it. He said that's going to be an interception out there by Edwards, but he just ran out of real estate. Not a good pass by Smith. What made you see that?
Well, Vance, I was sitting right here watching Shandon. You know, first of all, you got the markers. He's going to break on the ball. Once he sees that out, did a great job of driving. And because the ball was thrown a little high, it wasn't an interception. It was caught out of bounds. Had it been thrown on the money, he would have had a pick. He would have had a pick on that one.
Wow.
So here you go with another 4th and 15 attempt. You notice all of Mount Whitney's 4th downs have been 4th and really long tonight.
The one they had on a hard count, and they'll pick up 5 of them there and make it 4th and 10.
This will be 4th and long now. We can take the really out.
Well, you got to hand it to this Mount Whitney squad, and they could have just crumbled in this cold weather and said, you know what, basketball season started, let's get in the gym. But nope, they are fighting, they're battling.
Well, you know, Vance, Ridgeview's giving them an opportunity to
Sure.
really make some plays to get back in the game. They just haven't figured out anything offensively to get anything on the board.
3-man front for the Wolfpack. Smith runs to his left, fires it, and that's going to be picked, and that's trouble. Kamari, the 30, the 20, Kern County, he's in. Now that might be a nail.
You got a flag at the 45-yard line on the far side of the field, though, Vance. Let's see if someone might have gotten a little dumb and hit someone in the back.
I think Dylan Galinsky was the one getting chewed out.
And what a bad penalty that would be if that's the reason why this gets called back. As there were some big hits going on, but a block made that far behind the play.
So they called a personal foul on the Mount Whitney player.
Okay.
And they said the touchdown was good, so it happened after the touchdown.
Well, that may be the first nail then, as they were trying to make something happen and trying to get this offense sparked. But that was a huge play by Kamari Moya, the sophomore, by the way. Can you say sophomore?
Oh, he's a big sophomore at that. 6 foot, 175 pounds.
We'll have the APA awards announced probably next week. We'll do it in a semifinal game. That way, if any of our APA recipients are playing in the next game, they're able to kind of soak that in and watch them. The Adams Palm Alvarez Awards.
High snap again.
Blocked.
Oh, that just threw everything off. As you know, we've been seeing
Yeah.
Walker get a lot of pressure on every single kick tonight, but that high snap really threw everything off there, Vance.
He's certainly their most athletic player, no question about it. Eddie Walker, 6'4", 220, wide receiver, defensive back, captain of the team. And he gets in and makes a block. But an even 8 minutes remaining here in the third, 30-0. You know, they've been the AP Awards. And then they were the APP Awards, Paul Press. Then we call them the CAP Awards. We put Kevin Keys up front because he was oldest. And now it's the APA Awards. But nothing changes when it comes to the importance of the Bright House Network's voices, talking about the best players at their position. We also give APA awards out for most memorable plays of the year. And look forward to that. We'll do it next week, semifinals, yeah?
Next week sounds good to me.
All right. That way, if we have some winners in the championship game on Bright House Networks, we're able to say, hey, there's an APA winner. You got some thoughts? You have some stuff going over in your mind already?
Absolutely. I
Very
have a few wide receivers in mind, of course, a few kickers and punters in mind.
That's good. You know what? That's going to bring a new element to the discussion. Very good.
So are we going to do an overall special teams play, or are we going to break it down in terms of kickers and punters? And
Yeah, kind of whatever Brian and I feel like at the time.
Okay.
We'll let you know next week at dinner.
Yeah, exactly.
So actually, Brian, it looks like they called the personal foul on Ridgeview,
Yeah,
and they were going to move it. Okay.
The first time he signaled, he pushed it against the Mount Whitney player. Then I saw the head official go over to the Mount Whitney coach, and he corrected it right before the PAT.
And the only reason I mentioned Galinsky's name, and I hope, and if it's not him, I apologize, but he was the first one getting a rude reception by the assistant coach as he walked off the field. Might not have been him. Well, be that as it may, the ball is taken by Clark at the 25-yard line. Clark looking to get outside and gets the ball up to about the 45-yard line. So some of the hits are happening right at the whistle here, so it's starting to get a little late season chippiness as we get into the middle part of the third quarter.
Hey, Brian, did that wedge look weird to you? I mean, like nobody moved on the kickoff return.
Yeah, it did. It was like nobody took off when he caught the ball, and just kind of sat there, and then he ran to the back of him. They looked like they had a chance to actually get a really good wedge out there and give the running back some lanes to run. But you know, one thing, if you're Mount Whitney, they haven't tried anything deep downfield. You're down 30-0. You might as well try one and see if you can get anything going, maybe a catch or a pass interference call.
Smith drops back, 1st and 10, fires one out to the left side, and it's going to be caught, but it was a low pass. Should have been able to get more out of that, but it was just underthrown. So only gets about 5. 7:37 remaining here in this third quarter. 30-0, Ridgeview all over the Pioneers of Mount Whitney in this Bright House Network's exclusive game of the week. Handoff up the middle, and he is roughed up. And the first member of the Wolfpack to get him, Kenny Willoughby.
Yeah, Willoughby wouldn't let go either. He had his man down in the backfield, and then he just wouldn't let go. As you see here on the AV Plus instant replay, the handoff up the middle to Robles, and then Willoughby just grabbing on for dear life, then finally wrestling him to the ground, brings up a 3rd and 5.
Out to the right side, and it's dropped, incomplete. And Jamal Clark had it, dropped it. He's frustrated, and they're going to have to punt the football now.
Well, that guy right there is not frustrated whatsoever. The funnel cake were actually looking pretty good. I was standing in line for the
I'll tell you
kettle
what,
corn.
that cat is trying to go fast. He's cold, man. I got to get this food in my stomach now. My fingers are going to fall off. It is chilly.
So yet another punting situation.
Not a bad punt. Angles it over to the 20-yard line, and it bounces backwards. So be down at the 24-yard line. Tonight, our production is under the direction of the Godfather, Zachary Flores, inching ever closer to fatherhood. And the senior director, Bernie Johnson, on the South Premier Equipment Rental. And Carlos Anguiano up here on this scissor lift to, again, never disappoints. There's Bernie Johnson over there. Bernie Johnson taking it easy over there, sitting down. Bernie had 17 layers.
That's a veteran right there for you. See, he knows what he's doing.
He's a veteran. He's sitting down, and he has 47 coats on, gloves, beanies, earmuffs. He's going from here to Shirley Meadows. There's a handoff. Oh, what a big run and a powerful finish up there. Nice run by Dante Malloy. Malloy brought it, man. And we have a Pioneer down on the field. That's right at the line of scrimmage.
That's going to be number 70, Paul Fierro, who's down on the ground for Mount Whitney. And you see there, look at that hit right at the line of scrimmage.
Oh, boy.
Big hit. And the recipient of that one was Bryce Hundley, like you said. And, boy, not a lot. You can't really stop Dante Malloy. You can only hope to contain him, right? But you can, when he puts his head down, that's definitely he's a force to be reckoned with. And, also another guy inching close to fatherhood is our good buddy Zach Ewing.
Zach Ewing, Bakersfield, Californian. He's got his hands full right now. He's got winter sports underway. He's got football playoffs, volleyball playoffs, cross-country playoffs. Zach Ewing, our buddy over there. We'll probably have Zach here pretty soon, either next week or the following week. He always does one cameo with us in a pregame.
Yep. I was going to say, he usually comes in, gives us some good information. As you know, he's very knowledgeable about all the local high school sports around, and he's done a great job.
Some games taking place tonight. Tehachapi 10-1, and they had to travel to Fresno Sunnyside at 8-3. And I see Tehachapi winning. Coach Denman, I see them winning that game. Anybody heard anything yet on Independence Golden Valley recently? As we see the big fella, Paul Fierro, he's a 6'1", 260-pound sophomore. So the big fella's limping off. He tosses his hand pads over to another player, says, here you go. And brand new white jersey out there by Anthony Zermeno. So now Zermeno goes in to play.
Oh, that's the plays, man. Times have changed. Defensive players got play cards on the arms now, guys.
Oh, I thought he threw him a little hand pad. Nope. Wow. So a new nose tackle in there. 1st and 10. The Wolfpack stay on the ground. And Brandon Tripp takes it to the right side of the hash, and he gets up to about the 40-yard line. Another big football game taking place tonight. We mentioned before, but not enough, Stockdale at Clovis West. Stockdale 6-5 at Clovis West 9-1. And we heard it was, 14-14 at the half?
14-14 we heard it half.
Ooh, Coach Snow doing what he does.
That's against the number 1 seed in the Valley, too.
Man, oh, man. One back set, and he gets it. That's Tripp right at the middle. Oh, what a nice move he made to get an extra 2 or 3 yards and pick up the first down. Wolfpack.
Now with 5:45 left to go here, Ridgeview starting to move the ball once again through the ground, trying to stay away from the passing game.
What'd you two take away from that Stockdale game last week?
Well, they can run the ball, and one thing about it is that they have a few runners that can run it, and the line did a great job of opening up some holes. So, like I said, they just can't get a situation when they have to pass.
They go to Tripp again, and he gets closer to that paw at midfield. What'd you take away from the Stockdale game?
I agree. Stockdale is a force to be reckoned with, and we saw them earlier in the season against East, and we were kind of thinking that Stockdale wasn't going to be as dominant as they have been in the past, but last week showed that they can definitely step it up when they need to. And tonight at halftime, they're tied with the number 1 seed in the Valley. That definitely shows where their program's at, even after losing 19 starters from last year's team.
5 minutes remaining in the third. It's now dipped below, about 30 below zero right now up on the scissor lift. Oh, big hit in the backfield.
Guess who?
Dante Malloy, and he gets popped by, Eddie Walker. Another big hit.
I'm just perplexed with Mount Whitney and Eddie Walker. He's blocking PATs, he's making plays on defense, but yet they can't find a way to get him the ball anywhere on the offensive end.
Or they've chosen not to.
Or, one way or the other, exactly. And the one time they did get him was a short drag, so I don't understand.
I mean, he takes a hot punt. I mean, takes the hot kickoff, bobbles it, and then gets a 30-yard return.
Plus the penalty.
Yep, you would just think he's the guy. And, wow, I'll tell you what, Dante Malloy.
Some pads popping down there.
That is a strong, powerful young man right there, Dante Malloy.
There's that kettle corn I wasn't able to get at halftime.
That fan right there, eating that kettle corn with some attitude.
Well, with a big 3rd down and 5 here for Ridgeview, they can really, put another nail in the coffin here, Vance, as they pretty much got it down to the last couple of open slots. But if they can get this 3rd down here, they could keep running out that clock, keeping it on the ground, and possibly go in for more points.
3rd and 6. And the handoff was given to Broughton Martin. Martin is not going to get the 1st down.
That hole closed up fast, too, Vance. He had a little bit of a lane, and then all of a sudden it just shut down as Mount Whitney was able to rally to the spot of attack.
You know, Brian, I listened to both of you guys talking, and you're right. There's going to be an extensive game film study by this Ridgeview coaching staff when they go over it with their players. I think they're going to find a lot of things here they're going to have to clean up here for next week.
Well, I think defensively they've been solid. I think on the offensive end, like I said, we think they lost interest. They got a little unfocused, lack of focus on the offensive end. And those are things you have to clean up, especially if you're going to make a championship run.
Seha gets a nice bounce on his punt. It'll get down to about the 13-yard line. Nice job out there. So it'll be 1st and 10 for Mount Whitney. You're watching the high school football game of the week in its entirety, and you can only do it on Bright House Networks exclusively. And we want to thank Premier Equipment Rentals, Audiovisual Plus, and our 3 media partners, Crab Radio, Fox Radio, and KGET Friday Football Extra. And after this 1st down play, we'll get you the name of our officials from the Kern County Officials Association. They were over there getting hot cocoa with us. Myself, Brian, and Matt, and all the officials were at the side door. And thank you to the Ridgeview Boosters Club and the concession stand. They were kind enough to sell us some hot cocoa on the side door so we can get back up here. It's a nice 1st down play. And do you want to give us those officials' names, Dr. Alvarez?
Absolutely. With tonight's officials, the referee, Joe Saldivar, the umpire, Bob Williams, line judge, Sean Carlson, the head linesman, Brian Sullivan, and the back judge, Paul Kaminsky. And those are all members of the Kern County Officials Association doing a great job week in and week out. And, of course, with, these new winter sports coming up, as you got to run up the middle. And it's Kyle McAllister. Balls over his man. Kyle McAllister. All the way down to the 35-yard line. Another contender for the Crab Crush, Vance.
It was a big run, real big run. He just tucked and went, delivered a blow, and what a nice run.
Well, I was going to say with these winter sports going on, well, let's get a look at this replay first on the Audiovisual Plus. Instant replay. Boom!
Pow! Get out of my way, boys. Both of you.
That is steamrolling, absolutely. And then, could have get called for the horse collar tackle there, but a good thing Kamari Moya didn't drag him down by the horse collars. They go right back to McAllister.
McAllister fights for another couple of yards, 2 or 3 yards there. Make it 2nd and 7, 2nd and 8. Nice run.
Well, I was going to say with the winter sports coming up now, the Kern County Officials Association probably looking for some more officials to work soccer, basketball. Wrestling. Early season baseball and softball games possibly in February, January area.
KCOA.org.
If you're ever interested in being a official.
Nice blocking as they almost run over Tony Armbrust. Look out, Tony. So Pioneers inching ever closer to the neighborhood. They're not there yet. They're 7 yards from the neighborhood. Or 6 yards. The ball's on the 26-yard line of Ridgeview in the shotgun. Their quarterback, Chris Smith. Smith, again, they go out to the right side. And Clark takes it, gains about 2 or 3. They're just chipping away at it.
Yeah, they definitely are. And Clark able to pick up about 3 yards on that 1st down play, but they go back to the quick out pass, the quick pass in the flats, and they run the no-huddle offense. And And you see Smith, just a picture-perfect pass over there to Clark as they go with Smith once again. And Smith wrapped up in the backfield. That's going to be Brandon Tripp on the tackle.
Nice job by Brandon. Just stood there and waited. Containment, he had it, he did it. And $1:22 remaining here in this third quarter. We were talking to the boys at the barbecue down there. We were warming up our hands. We said, man, that aroma is throwing off those Ridgeview receivers. They were dropping passes, hoping to get a bite of the burger. Ooh, a couple of big pops at the end of that play, and that was Robles. You can hear those pads popping. They are getting it going here, and it's going to be 4th down and
about 2.
4th and about 2. You're right, Matt. Another 4th down for this Pioneer offense. They've had probably 5 or 6 of them, and they've converted on, I think, 3 or 4 of them.
This is the first manageable 4th down here.
Smith looks, finds his man, and gets it. 1st down, Pioneers.
Well, good job of Smith to look off his receivers downfield and then go to his close man. That was 45, James Lopez, the 6-foot senior. And he found Lopez. You see here on the Audiovisual Plus instant replay, Smith looks downfield, gives a little pump fake, and good job by Lopez to just find some open space and pick up that one.
They come back out to Clark. Clark, line of scrimmage, and Clark gets, he's starting to get a little chippy out here, and yep, that's going to be on Ridgeview.
It's going to be on Jacob Spears. And
just so unnecessary.
Spears actually, you see that guy right there, him and Spears got into it on the right on the chains. As you see here, Spears doesn't like the stiff arm that he gets, and he goes out of bounds. And see, that's what the personal foul was. Watch Spears and this guy though get into it. What is that all about?
Spears having a bad series. You know, it started when he got ran over earlier, and then now he's making some bad decisions down here on the goal line area by hitting a guy way out of bounds and an unnecessary shove. You're up 30-0. You know, you have to keep composure and play the game that way.
Got a timeout on the field taken by Ridgeview. And Brian points out the important elements of the maturation process that needs to take place in these players and these talented young men and young women in other sports. As we see this run right here, there's a crab crush.
Yeah, that's when Spears got laid out.
Man, that's a crab crush if I've ever seen it. That's a bowling ball right there. 30-0 is the score. I'm Vance Palm, and this fine, dapper young man is Matt Alvarez. How was Thanksgiving, Matt?
Thanksgiving was great. Drove up to Porterville, minus the parents.
Oh.
Yeah, as they're on a cruise right now.
Dig that. Thanksgiving was great. I wasn't with my parents. Yeah, thanks.
They're on a cruise right now, but it was myself and my sister. Her boyfriend went up to Porterville, ate some good food.
Nice. Captain, Thanksgiving?
Thanksgiving was great, spending it with the kids and family, and it's been a long time since we've done that. It was an excellent evening.
Very good.
How about yourself there, Vance?
Yeah, exactly. What did you do for Thanksgiving there, buddy?
Pulled 80-something turkeys out of a deep pit. Started running them all over Kern County. 2nd and 2.
80 turkeys.
And some cabeza and some lengua and some carne asada. Here we go. Look at this. Are they going to get in?
Yes, sir.
Touchdown. Pioneers, they get off the snide.
Oh, what a big run by DeAndre Turner as he caught that pass on the near side, and he just reaches over the pylon, knocks it down going into the end zone. You see finally Mount Whitney able to get on the board, and a great job of getting over the pylon, over the goal line, breaking the play and all that nonsense. And Mount Whitney is on the board.
Wow,
We're going to go for 2 here.
Camera work was done by none other than our director for Condors Hockey, Tony Armbrust. Tony, beautiful work down there. Thank goodness Carlos is off the grass. Oh, and a big hit delivered to make it an incomplete 2-point conversion. That ball was in his hands, and Edwards says no dice.
Boy, Lavero has taken some shots tonight on the offensive end, Vance. I mean, he's just been on the receiving end of some big-time hits. And you'll see here, Smith rolling out on the AV Plus instant replay.
Pass.
Lavero in his hands. Boom! Gets popped just out of frame there, but you see the after effect.
Oh, man, he is just down. I was giving kudos to Tony Armbrust, but then he saw a football coming right at his camera lens and got out of there. There's Tony Armbrust right there on the right, and he couldn't hear what he said, Kern County. He goes, yeah, but when those figures start to become very big in your viewfinder, you got to get out of there right away. 30-6 is the score.
Vance, I want to know what you did with all those turkeys. Who were you delivering them to?
Customers and friends, and every year, the company that I work for, my partner, Mr. Mark Arvizu, and Arvin High Bear, and we have a lot of customers and friends, and we deliver them. We season them and wrap them up on a Wednesday night. We put them in about a 10-foot deep pit hole, cover it up, and hand them out.
Sounds good. That's what he's missing, hand out. That's what we also did in the morning. Our family went to Ebenezer Baptist Church, Pastor Tyree Tolliver.
Saw that in the newspaper
and we handed out Thanksgiving dinners to people who were in need.
Very good.
That was the highlight probably of my day, actually.
Very good.
Onside kick here.
Well handled by the same gentleman again, Jaime Alberto.
Except Alberto didn't get as much out of this as he got last time, but good job by Alberto to just fall on that ball. Like,
if I'm Alberto, I'm going to tell guys, if you guys going to let balls come through, you got to pick people off, though. You can't let people run at full speed through there.
Man,
exactly.
Oh, man. Matt Pasqua was going for him.
And I think what happens sometimes when you're not used to doing onside kicks, a lot of guys in the front don't think they can go hit anybody, so they just kind of let the ball go. If you're not going to field it, you can still go block somebody.
Sure. All right, here we go. Tyler Ferguson, this Ridgeview offense will take it again on a 1st and 10. Ferguson fires one out to the left side, and it's caught and taken down as Brock Martin. And that'll do it for the end of the third quarter. It is Ridgeview 30, Mount Whitney 6. We'll be back with the last quarter of this football game on Bright House Network's Bakersfield.
Bakersfield's only sports station that's all sports, all day, every day. Fox Sports Radio 970. With Dan Patrick in the morning. And Jim Rome 9 to noon. Home for the world champion Los Angeles Lakers and NASCAR. And now the home for the Bakersfield Condors. No swap shop, no tradio, no cheap coupons. Sports. It's all we do. Fox Sports Radio 970.
It's the most anticipated basketball season in recent history, and the biggest names in sports are teamed up. The NBA and TNT are bringing you the premier matchups every Thursday with sports' most entertaining studio crew.
Chuck, Ernie, and Kenny, must-see TV.
The game is different, and the stakes are higher. From rivalries renewed to rivalries anew, the stage is set for show-stopping drama. Don't miss NBA on TNT Thursdays.
Welcome back, everybody. The beginning of the fourth quarter. See that gentleman right there, Tony in the red? That is Tony Armbrust. Tomorrow night, he'll be directing Saturday Night Ice Condors hockey. And guess what, Brian? Our very own Mateo Alvarez is going to be down on the ice, dropping the ceremonial first puck as he is part of Kern Radio Night, as he's Matt Alvarez. Kern Radio News. He'll be down. So you're going to be dropping the puck.
Be dropping the puck myself, Jeff Lamucci, Scott Cox, Teresa Ebrio, the whole morning staff.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, should be a lot of fun. Not to mention it's the Teddy Bear Toss, one of the best games, probably the best game of the year. Unfortunately, the Condors aren't doing too well right now.
See if I'll put a good word in for you and see if Tony can capture you on tape there. Ferguson gets free from a couple of defenders and kicks it out there to Brock Martin. Well, sure like this Ferguson kid. Haven't seen him other than the other game that we called. That he's really had a nice season and just such great poise in and out of the pocket. Great accuracy, as Brian said. He's won a couple of camp awards, and look forward to seeing what his future holds for him.
Yeah, Ferguson definitely. He's got the height. He's got the stature to do it. 6'4", 190, and he still has another year left under his belt after this one's completed.
Oh boy. It's going to be fun to watch him. 2nd and 5. Looking for some room out there, runs out of room.
Well, guess who forced the cutback, though, Vance? That was Eddie Walker. Again, he's definitely the MVP of this Mount Whitney team. You know, as you saw Brock Martin trying to take it to the outside, then he faked the cutback inside, almost juked himself out of his shoes. As you see here on the AV Plus Instant Replay, watch Martin. Whoop! Oh, nope. Oh, can't go that way. Oh, Edwards. Yeah, and then Edwards finally makes him cut back inside and able to make the tackle was Dylan Kelly. So great defensive work by Dylan Kelly as we just got an update from Frontier High School. It's 28-13 Frontier.
Ball across the middle, complete out there, a nice pass. And Kyrie Wilson, we haven't heard a lot from Kyrie tonight, but that's because he's an enforcer on defense. But Brian, what a great athlete this young man is. You've worked a lot with him.
Yeah, you know, I've had the pleasure of being with Kyrie now for the last, since he's a sophomore, and just to watch his maturation, his growth, and how hard he's worked. It's just a joy to his family let me be part of it.
And he's heading to the Pac-10.
Yeah, I'm gonna want one of those Pac-10. I want one of those Pac-10 hats with the new logo and T-shirts. Since my Bruins ain't doing too good, I have to just be Pac-10 now.
They got a nice commercial out too right now. Nice spot. Ferguson thought about a screenplay at first, but boy, he's so elusive, and now he breaks another tackle. 3, 4, 5 tackles, 6 tackles. Still on his feet, gets brought down at the 14-yard line. Wow-wee.
Now, I will say this, guys. With 9:48 and you're up 30-6,
yep.
I'm going to be telling the young man, hey,
go down.
Let's not take any unnecessary hits
Absolutely.
on this situation.
Yeah, I'm surprised he's still in, actually.
Well, you see the elusiveness, like you said, Vance. Look, he goes in and out, and then back out, outside again, then cuts back, gets a block right there, and then finally, right about then, yeah, he goes down. And that was number 22, Matt Pasquale, on the tackle once again. Pasquale's been all over the field just like Walker has.
2nd and 7. Look at that great run. Malloy.
I'm
so impressed with this young man.
Someone just got trucked on the defensive line. I think that was number 65. That was number 65, Nick Fistolera. Watch here on the AV Plus Instant Replay.
Third and 2.
That's Fistolera with an F.
Ferguson, bootleg out to the left side, and takes a shot at the end of the run, but enough to get a first down, so it's going to be 1st and goal, Ridgeview.
Well, as long as he gets back up, I mean, but like Brian said, you don't want to be taking too many shots like that on a cold night like this.
That's his last play, fellas. You got a guy who's a senior quarterback who has experience. That'd be his last play for me.
Well, Coach Manning sends him back out there. He gets the call from Coach Manning on the 22-yard line and comes back into the huddle.
One of my all-time favorite guys on the planet, Dennis Manning. As wonderful of a man as he is, as good a coach, and West High Viking, BC Renegade, and now he calls a timeout, wants to talk it over. And Brian, it's a bit peculiar that he's leaving that talented guy in there, or any of those guys in there for this sake, but I get the impression he just hasn't seen enough efficiency at some of the smaller, intricate parts of the game that he wants to see.
And I understand that, but the thing about it is when you're in playoffs, it's win and go home. And you want to win in advance. You didn't play properly, you correct that in film work and in practice. I'm not going to do it here live when I got a game next week, pretty much out of hand right now in terms of unless something miraculous happens. You want to protect these guys, get them off their feet, make sure they're healthy into the next week.
Man, you look cold down there. You see Brian?
Oh, he's bundled up.
I'm doing something wrong. I'm about to go look at some Midwest Chicago jackets or something.
For our longtime viewers, you're probably all just cracking up because you remember Brian used to go polo shirts down to the last game. Malloy trips, slips, and finally goes down at about the 3-yard line. Got to score 27-7 right now, 27-7 with 3 minutes left. Garces ahead. So it looks as if that holds. Garces will advance.
Well, good news for the Valley teams there as Frontier up on Lemoore. That was the score that I mentioned earlier. I think it was 26-13. And the ball looks like it came loose there underneath that pile, that last play, but looked like runner might have already been down here. It's going to be a 2nd and goal from the 3 now.
From the shotgun, Ferguson sends Seha in motion. And Ferguson just trots in on a beautiful, beautiful ball fake, and it's going to make it 36-6.
And that would definitely be his last play for the night.
Now you would think.
We'll see.
Yeah, they're getting ready to go here on the Ridgeview sideline. They're already packing all their stuff up. The kickers on the near sideline are packing up the kicking net. I think those are probably some JV call-ups because they're not listed on our roster, and they have the glamorous duty of packing the kicking net up.
Oh my gosh, the cheerleaders are rolling up the banners like, Miss Cheerleader Advisor, can we roll these up? It is chilly here tonight, very cold night, and it's going to get colder. Get ready. The snap, the hold, and it is good. So other than the block kick, and a good night for Daniel Reyes. 37-6, 7-11 remaining in this football game. We don't foresee overtime.
And they got fireworks back that way, fellas, in the south end zone.
Well, someone's celebrating Ridgeview's win a little bit early here as it's 7-11 left to go in the 4th quarter. But somehow I don't think the people who are shooting those fireworks off are affiliated with this school in any way.
You never know.
But you never know.
I don't think so.
Where are we anyway? We're south of Panama. We're west of the 99/I-5, east of the I-5.
East of the sun and west of the moon, my friend.
Of
Another
course.
jazz ballad. 37-6.
That was a hit back in the 40s when you were 20 years old.
East of the sun, probably the 50s, 40s, 50s.
Who sang it?
Oh, it's a standard. Everybody.
Gotcha.
Everybody.
Like a Christmas carol, just gets overdone.
East of the sun, west of the moon.
How did your singing gig go a couple nights ago, Vance? I wanted to.
Phenomenal. By the way, I want to thank you for packing up after the Renegade game and then promptly taking some of the equipment and putting it in your deal. We get down to Mount Sac the other night. I open it up. No mic stand, no bass, no cell phone hookup, no telephone wire. It's great. I called Brett. Brett's like, what's going on? We promptly called around, and then Corey Costello starts jumping my hide last week. Where's all this stuff? Where's all this stuff? We finally figured it out. It was none other than Matt Alvarez. Hey, look at this. Look at this.
Vance, you know who are people who use that equipment in between when I had it and you had it.
No, you're busted. You're the man.
Oh, there's no way. I'm such a like OCD when it comes to that stuff.
An Orange County doctor?
Absolutely. That's my education from the University of Arizona has landed me an Orange County doctorate's degree.
Exactly 7 minutes remain in this football game. As I said, we don't foresee overtime, so I'll say the game and not the 4th quarter.
I'm not taking the blame for that, Vance.
We'll discuss it off air during our post-game dinner. Handoff up the middle. And looks as though Mount Whitney might just keep it on the ground here as well. Nice to see one of our soldiers here home for the holidays. Thank you, sir.
Speaking of my gig, Vance, guess who's 5-0 and off to the best start in program history?
5-0, off to the best start in program history. Who would that be?
CSUB women's basketball.
Oh, that's right.
Head coach Tim Lacoste doing great things with that organization. They're up in Eugene, Oregon right now.
Hand off to the right side. It's going to be maybe a loss, maybe 1 yard. Just got a nice text photo from Mr. Well, I won't mention his name. I'm not allowed to mention his name, but a good buddy of mine is at the Boise-Reno game, 24/7 Boise. And a nice photograph of the scoreboard and a packed Nevada Stadium.
Boy, if Auburn would have went down today, that would have been a mess up top of the BCS. And Smith able to complete a pass on 3rd down for about 2 yards to his receiver. And that was number 7 again, Lavero. 5:50 left to go here in the 4th quarter, and it's going to be another 4th and 3 here for Mount Whitney. 37-6, Ridgeview leads. And they're taking a long time to get this playoff, wasting a lot of time if they're trying to get anything going here.
Clock continues to tick as Smith hands the ball off to the man that's in motion, and that's Livero. And Livero's had a rough night, and it just gets rougher and rougher.
I was going to say the exact same thing. He's going to sleep very well tonight.
I think Mr. and Mrs. Livero are probably up in the stands thinking, oh my gosh, my son's just getting pummeled tonight.
Yeah, he
Fourth
definitely
down.
is, but you know, what a trooper for him to walk off the field under his own power right now. He's taking shot after shot. He's been upended. He's been knocked around, beaten down, and now we've got an injured Pioneer on the far side of the field near the 40-yard line.
And I think that might be the main man, too. All right, well, you wanted to go to the Crab Crush with 5 minutes left. We've done this before. We've done a Crab Crush with a lot of time left, and next thing you know, somebody gets leveled. All right, are you guys going to show us possibilities, or have you chosen the Crab Crush already? All right, what are you going to do? You're going to show us, you want to show us a few options or what? All right, let's show a few options. Here, let's Crab Crush. Here's one of the Crab Crushers. And this is, oh, right, here's a nice one right here. Ready?
I think the straight arm might have been the Crab Crush.
And here's the block.
Oh, wait. Oh,
that's
the
the
block.
downfield block.
Jacob Spears.
And Jacob Spears. So that's one of the possibilities for a Crab Crush. It was a pretty good downfield block.
It's a good
Crab
candidate.
Crush.
Good candidate.
All right, here comes another one right here. Oh, I like this one. Pow! That is a big Crab Crush and delivered by Odrum Brooks. All right, so that's, you have time for one more? All right, let's get the third option for a Crab Crush. And this is the bowling ball run over by Kyle McAllister. All right, we'll think about it for a minute. Ooh, there's a nice hit right there.
And Brian mentioned it's Joe Seha now back in the game now into the game as a quarterback for Ridgeview High School. So they're obviously decided to give give Tyler Ferguson a seat here, a little bit of a rest. So we have three nominees for the Crab Crush, and two of them involve Jacob Spears, one on the good side, one on the not so good side.
I'm going to say my Crab Crush personally will be Odrum Brooks causing the fumble. That was a big hit. But that's just me. Look at this. Look at this. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, a nice tackle out there because almost Huggins was looking to get to the end zone, brought down about the 21-yard line. First down, Ridgeview. What were your thoughts on the Crab Crush?
You know, I like the Jacob Spears offensive blocking downfield. I mean, that's always a good thing to see. First of all, your receivers blocking downfield, but when your receivers get a knockout block downfield, that's definitely a good thing to see.
All right.
Brian, do you have any of those knockouts when you're at UCLA?
I have Odrum Brooks with the fumble-causing stick over here. He picks downfield blocking by Spears. What do you think, Cap?
You know, Vance, I think I'm going with the hit where the ball popped out. I like that one the best.
All right, so as Seha gets smashed up here, fellas, go ahead and put the graphics together.
They overrule the
We
rookie.
have the Crab Crush. Matt, it's all yours.
The Crab Crush Hit of the Week. Brought to you by 1061 Crab Radio.
And tonight's Crab Crush, boom! Right there. Odrum Brooks on Eddie Walker, who has been the defensive MVP for this Mount Whitney team. But Odrum Brooks says, not in my house. He is the winner of tonight's Crab Crush Hit of the Week. Back to you, Vance.
That was Matt Alvarez.
Matt Alvarez, Bright House Networks.
Here's a pitch out to the left side. It's going to be taken by Turner. Turner looking to get outside, can't. And stays in bounds, much to the delight of pretty much everybody out here.
I didn't get a chance to do that last week, Vance, to do the back to you, Vance. Yeah, it's one of those nights you can see your breath for sure.
How's your webcasting go for the Lady Runners?
Well, actually, we haven't been webcasting it. We've been recording them on our little recording device and then putting them up for archive. But we will be webcasting live on GoRunners.com when they come back home December 3rd.
Nice, very nice.
When they play Fresno State, so that'll be a big game.
3rd and 9. A pitch. Sejas. Fumble! Oh, and Tevin Keaton down there taking some late pops. Speaking of Roadrunner basketball, this coming Tuesday night, my partner Bo Redstone and I will be on hand for a Tuesday night Roadrunner basketball game on Bright House Networks Bakersfield. Don't miss that, live at Rabobank Arena. Last season for the Roadrunners downtown as they go back into the Icardo Center. I was there the other night when they beat San Jose State. Steph Carter just was crazy. Couldn't miss in the first half.
And Carter was actually in one of my classes at CSUB. He's a very studious fellow.
Very good. 4th and long. Seja's going to go to the air. Seja wants to go to the end zone with it. Now Seja's going to get brought down, and it'll be first down, Mount Whitney.
Oh, with 1:31 left now, Seja tries to do anything he can with this 4th down play, and he looks downfield, and then he just decides to run it, and then he loses his footing there before Anthony Balandron got to him and knocked him down, but nonetheless, it was better Seja than Ferguson at this point.
Have we had a Centennial score? Can anybody give us a Centennial score? Because I can at least let people know that if it's a Centennial BHS matchup, you would think odds are that's where we're going to be next week, but you never know.
Well, I got some good inside information from my source at BHS that BHS is starting to run away with it.
All right, so the Drillers taking care of business, so they move on. Have not heard anything yet from Centennial. Maybe I can try to get some kind of a score over there. I know who to text.
We're going to have to thank all of our unnamed sources at the beginning of the season, or at the end of the season, for all the hard work they've done for us. But with 1:31 left and Ridgeview up 37-6 here, it's all but over for Mount Whitney.
Brian, what do you take away from this if you're Coach Manning?
Well, I think you gotta like the way your secondary covers. I mean, they do a great job of shutting down a team that came in passing for over 2,000 yards. They did well against the run. You cannot be too happy about the inefficiency that your offense had for about 6 series in a row. But, you know, the main thing is you win and you advance.
Very good. And we've got a new quarterback in for the Pioneers, and that is a quarterback that we don't have a number on unless you have one over here.
Must be a JV call-up.
Must be a JV call-up.
He's probably going to take the reins next year for this team, so getting him a little experience in the playoffs.
Nor do we have a name for the JV call-up running back either. So we see some of these JV guys getting some touches, getting some action here. Nice pass. Oh, just dropped out there by one of the JVers. 37-6 is the score. This thing's all over. But the writing.
Well, like I said, Vance, it's going to be good experience for these kids getting in there against a good quality playoff team, playoff opponent as the referee.
Well,
referee took that ball.
Now I'm seeing one of my sources got back to me very quickly. 42-19 Centennial. So it looks like the Driller Golden Hawks matchup next week for Bright House Networks Bakersfield. Well, I say that, but you never know. Flick out to the right side.
Well, you know how I tell you guys might be somewhere else, but I'll be there.
Yeah. Hey, text us the score of that game, will you? We may be at the early mark picks of the game.
Not at the port. Not the Porterville McFarland.
We may be at the Haven Drive Sunset game.
Picked yesterday.
And nice catch out there. Nice pass, nice catch. And some of these younger guys out here, he never went down. He wants to keep on going. Atta boy. Well, this one It's been a good time to enjoy for the Ridgeview Wolfpack as they're cheering for their guys. They're going to go on to the next round, fellas, and congratulations to Coach Manning and his coaching staff. And this Mount Whitney Pioneers team finally lose a game. They've been on a winning streak. And for Matt Alvarez, I'm Vance Palm. Brian Adams down on the grass. For our main man, Carlos Anguiano up here. Carlos, keep those glasses on. Whatever you do, don't take your glasses off. Bernie Johnson, our senior director, down on the south scissor lift. And we have not heard much at all from Bernard tonight.
He's cold.
He's not saying anything. Tony and Mark on the ground. Super Sammy, everybody involved with helping us. We appreciate it. And that's going to do it. We will see you next week. We presume we're going to be at Centennial for a rematch with the Drillers and the Golden Hawks. For everybody at Bright House Networks, our director, the Godfather, Zach Flores, have a great night. Hope you had a good Thanksgiving. Have a great weekend. God bless.
Get in the game. The Friday Night Blitz is on. Friday Football Extra.
And it's a complete football package on Sunday night after the NFL. FFX Sunday Night Edition. All the scores, all the highlights, all the stories from the gridiron.
Coverage of your favorite school, plus the FFX Game of the Week. Friday Football Extra.
FFX, the Sunday Night Edition, only on 17 News after Sunday Night Football.
Local football action. Get in the game. Bakersfield's only sports station that's all sports, all day, every day. Fox Sports Radio 970. With Dan Patrick in the morning and Jim Rome 9 to noon. Home for the world champion Los Angeles Lakers and NASCAR. And now the home for the Bakersfield Condors. No swap shop, no tradio, no cheap coupons. Sports. It's all we do. Fox Sports Radio 970.
Got a job to do? Premier Equipment Rentals is your answer. Residential or industrial, we've got exactly what you need to get the job done. Whether it's a drill, trencher, bobcat, backhoe, or excavator, you can always count on Premier Equipment Rentals. And with our new extended hours, we're available when you need us. Check us out at 3217 Patton Way and 5001 Stein Road, or give us a call to find out more. Don't forget to ask about our weekend specials. Make your next project a breeze with Premier Equipment Rental.
Football season's here.